Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SpawnCast episode 194. Sean's back with us.
I'm back.
Sean, stuff happened this past week. You missed the last week's, but then it kept happening. Cyberpunk has been an ongoing thing for the last 10 days, basically since it came out.
And the beautiful thing about it is every day that passes just makes my initial video more correct.
Did the likes and dislikes even out yet?
Yeah, now I've got more likes than dislikes on it.
Wow.
Yes.
Really
there we go.
Turn it around.
They came back.
Okay. Yeah, I figured you were gonna you're gonna strut into the podcast tonight. So
I mean, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. Maybe I just got lucky, but no, I mean, I can sort of feel it, and I think a lot of us could sort of see it, but you know, is what it is.
Well, we'll be talking about that quite a bit because like everything in the world happened to Cyberpunk this past week, all at once. It's like one big fast forward event. So then our guest tonight is Jeff Grubb. Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's good to be back.
Good to have you on. I saw you had some thoughts about Cyberpunk on Twitter, so I thought it'd be good to have you on. Yeah, because you were
here and there.
You were part of the initial wave of reviewers even for it.
Yes.
So there's I'm sure there's some opinions over there on your side for CD Projekt. So we check in with you on that. Then we have Miss Click, who got here like 30 seconds before we started. But
I did. I was hanging out with my patrons today, so we were watching One Punch Man.
I mean, that's fine. That's a good excuse. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. You know, instead of playing Cyberpunk. So
no, that's fine.
Time well spent.
We did all get to play Among Us for the most part this week, so that was fun.
So much fun. It was a blast.
We'll have to do that again.
Except everyone tried to screw me over the whole time.
Yeah, and I got that invite. I was there.
We'll have to. Who said that?
Listen, man, I try as much as I can.
We'll have to. We actually have to get like the SpawnCast together to do it, like an Among Us night. That would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's like pre-recorded and like we get it edited and everything, and just put it up on a channel, that would just be.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, that'd be fun to have up. So we'll look into that. But good to have you, Miss Click.
Thanks for having me.
We have MVG.
Hey, what's going on?
Festive over there. Very nice. Very nice. Got the Genesis Genesis sweater on.
Genesis ugly shirt and the Christmas hat. Yep.
Nice. Very good. How's it going this week for you?
Good, man. Good. It's been a week. Been a week, I tell you.
You're holding off. You're holding off on Cyberpunk. Yeah,
I'm not going to play it. I'm waiting for patches. Because I think, you know, if I play it now, I mean, I'll probably enjoy the game. I'm not going to say I won't, but I just think the bugs will be enough for me to just be like, I don't want to play this game right now. So I'm just going to hold off maybe till the January patch when that drops, and I'll give it a go, I think.
Okay, fair enough. That works. Then we have OJ. What's going on?
It's going pretty good. I just want to make sure I let Mr. Jeff Grubb over here know that you know, the glove.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare! You stay away from me.
I'm Kato Kalin.
He's Kato. Yeah, RGT's Kato Kalin.
This glove fits. You know what I'm saying? This glove actually fits, and be careful tonight, homie.
John could be
I
Judge
don't understand
Ito.
the reference. May I?
Yeah, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. Yeah.
It just sounds concerning, is all.
You know, I actually own an OJ Simpson jersey.
Help me.
I do.
Stop.
I bought it strictly to piss off my grandma.
No, but I'm doing good. It's been a good week this week,
dude. Yeah, because when the whole OJ trial was going down, we were actually living at my grandma's house temporarily because we were about to move to North Carolina. And so we were all like watching it on TV and shit. And I remember one time my grandma was going to the kitchen and I was like, Grandma, can you get me some orange juice Simpson? And like, she got so mad at me. She was like, you don't call it orange juice Simpson. You don't say that name in this house. He's a bad man. I was like, he's not a bad man. He's still on trial. He might be innocent.
Oh my God.
Many years later, I bought an OJ Simpson jersey and wore it over to her house. She got so mad. I was like,
why would you do that?
Yeah,
bro?
this is the person that cooks you food all the time.
I mean, because that's how our family is. Like, you know, we're asses to each other.
We got the same flavor.
What? Oh, you and Sean?
Yeah.
What, for Zevia?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's black cherry.
That's what I got.
Yeah, dude, that's all I drink.
Twinsies.
Jordan, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Yeah. How's your week been?
It's been all right. Can't complain.
Sorry.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. Did you play Cyberpunk?
Oh yeah, I played a lot of that.
Okay, cool. That'll work. We can talk a bit about that.
Still no Hyrule Warriors though, but a lot of Cyberpunk.
I was getting to that. That's what I wanted to get to next.
Killing me.
Making the right choice.
Jeff!
I'm one of the bad guys. Surprise!
It's all right. You got good hair, and that's all that matters.
I don't feel bad with wanting to kill you by the end of this podcast now, bro.
Nate, how you doing? You're here with us, right, Nate?
I am.
Okay, good. Nate, you play Cyberpunk?
I played a little more of it.
On the Xbox One VCR, you at least moved up to the Series X.
If I play the game for my own enjoyment or just play the game, it's on the Series X. Xbox One is just to see how bad of a train wreck it can actually become.
Yes, very.
And it's a bad train wreck on that system.
Yes, it does not run well. Is pretty
running
bad.
well shouldn't even be used as a phrase when describing Cyberpunk on the Xbox One. That implies that it can run.
I mean, it technically works.
It turns
right?
on.
It crawls, right? At least.
I haven't tried it on the base PS4 or the base Xbox One myself. I have one of the Xbox One VCRs over there, but I can't bring myself to try it.
Oh, it's a disaster on the Xbox One.
Let's
we'll get into the topic eventually.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna get into.
I'm surprised you haven't made a video on the Stadia version, which is the best version of the game right now.
no one actually wants to boot up Stadia.
We talked about that one before we went live because Jeff actually played it on there, and he said it's actually pretty good. So
yeah, right before you showed up, MVG, I was talking about. I played it on there. It is surprisingly good. It's weird how good it is on there. I was playing like on my phone.
Shitty game, so much clout. Goodness gracious, man. God damn, like, why is this shitty game?
Give it a 3 out of 5, man. What
you guys right
me?
now? I didn't know.
I
can't warn y'all. Y'all act like this game is good. I'm sorry, I had to say something. Go ahead. Y'all continue. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad game, but look, hold on, we're not jumping into this yet.
Yeah. No.
Hold on, we'll get into it.
All right. It's not necessarily.
I'm drinking.
Okay.
Oh yeah, me too.
We're all drinking.
Yeah, me too. Got to make it happen.
Evan, how you doing?
The clout pass here. Everyone's just handing out free clout passes, huh? Just make it rain with clout passes for Cyberpunk, huh?
It's good on Stadia. What do you want me to say?
Hey, no, we're not in France. We're not in France.
Does that say Cyberpunk 2077 on the back of Grubb's chair? I can't quite make it out.
Oh gosh.
Yo, that chair long gone. Where'd that chair go, though, bro? Like, where's that chair?
It's right there. I got a tramp stamp that says Cyberpunk 2077. Actually, that's what I got. It's just right here. Yeah.
No, because I don't think it crashes on Stadia, so that by default means that it's actually a good version to play. The fact that it doesn't crash.
Yeah, I wonder if I could get it to crash. I'll give that a shot and see. That'd be weird.
10 times I think about so far on the PS5 for me, just through the playthrough. So it's not great. Evan, how you doing?
Doing good, paying attention to the bandwidth, still fighting back and forth with Comcast. So hopefully this lasts.
Evan, you shelved Cyberpunk. You're basically just going to wait for the patches to go through now that you finished it.
44 hours for one clear, and my next playthrough will be after patches.
There you go. That'll work. So what's everyone else been playing before we go after Cyberpunk for a bit? Because that's going to be a whole thing.
Gears Hive Busters.
Yeah, I'm downloading that now actually to check it out since you guys reminded me. You said it wasn't even that long, but it sounds like it has some impressive visuals and it's more Gears of War. So
it's really good. Give it a go.
Do I have to download Gears 5 or can I download it separate?
You need Gears 5.
You need Gears 5.
It's like
Gears 5.
Yeah,
it's a big game. It's a big game, yeah.
Are you talking? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You can uninstall certain aspects of it, so you don't need the full 200 gigs.
You
do need Gears 5.
Is it 200 gigs, like the whole game? Because I'm playing on the Series S, and I don't remember. But I mean, I
thought it was like 100 and
all that, but
I thought it was like 110 or 112. Unless this adds more to. I assume it does.
This adds 10 gigs. I think total. I think it's 92 gigs.
Yeah. Okay. See, Sean, there you go. It's not even 100 gigabytes.
It's definitely worth checking out. It's a lot of fun. It's a bite-sized DLC. It's probably about 3 hours. Sean, you'll rip through it pretty quickly, but it's fun as hell, and it's just a taste of what next gen's going to be on Xbox. It's fun. And it's
on. I've seen pictures of it. It looks really good.
Yeah. And it's on Game Pass, so
right.
You just download it. That's all. So I'm gonna let that download tonight. Probably check it out tomorrow then to see how that is. But what about you, Sean? What'd you play other than Cyberpunk?
Played Among Us on the Switch. I'm surprised nobody told me that Among Us was a fun game.
Oh,
seems like everyone just sort of ignored that. No, but I wasn't here last week. I also played Doom Eternal on the Switch. I haven't finished the story yet. I think I'm pretty close. I think I'm on like the 8th or 9th chapter.
It's a bit long. It's a bit longer. You know, it's a longer game kind of for a first-person shooter like that.
Yeah. I played a little more Immortals Phoenix Rising just because I wanted to mess around with some side quests last night, and I ended up playing it for like 2 hours and just having fun with it. And I also played Dig the Snow Away from My Car because like they plowed our parking lot or whatever.
It's like,
but when they plowed it,
actual game.
all the snow just like gathered like in front of my car, and like I didn't have anywhere to go. But it's kind of like the principle, like if I want to go somewhere, I want to be able to go somewhere. And then I realized I don't have a snow shovel, so there's like 15 inches of snow in front of my car, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna do this. So what I did was I grabbed the top of like a bin that I used to move, like a Tupperware bin, and I used that top, and I just went out there and I just like started walking back and forth in front of my car, just like motherfucker, just like get my adrenaline going. And like there's like kids outside playing and stuff, and they all stop and they're like looking at me, and like I just start going. I'm just like making noises and just digging because I know I have to get it done quickly or else it's not going to get done. And so like my neighbor comes out and he's like, do you want to borrow my shovel? I'm like, no man, I'm good. I'm just going at it. And so I finally get it to like where I'm like, all right, this is pretty good. I think I can get my car out. So I get in my car, I let the engine warm up, and I just gun it. And like I didn't catch air or anything like that, but you definitely have that, you know, where you fly up sort of moment. And the best part is there's like all these people looking at me, and I literally got out of that parking spot, moved down 2 parking spots to a spot that was cleared, and just parked my car and got out. And I was like, all right, see you later.
You didn't just walk outside and summon your army of raccoons to dig it out for you?
They're all hiding because there's too much snow.
How much snow did you guys get there? You said like a foot?
Yeah, we got like a foot.
Wow. It was like 3 or 4 inches here, but I just put some like it's not salt, but it's some other chemical just out on the driveway, and it just melted everything as it hit.
Yeah, the snow melt stuff. They put that on like the sidewalks and shit. I ganked some of that.
Yeah, I just ordered like a bunch of that and just dropped it, and that was it. So, you don't have to worry about it. You gotta think ahead. You gotta think ahead. So I just ordered like a whole bunch of that. It's like a big bucket, and just dumped it on the driveway, and that was it.
You know what I did? I got like a rake, and I raked some leaves off my driveway, man. It was just hit the rake, and I was done. It took me about.
We've had
2
snow on the ground for weeks, so we gave up a long time ago. This is just our lives now. We just don't go anywhere.
Got to take care of those leaves in the front yard, man.
Yeah.
I got neither snow nor leaves, so have fun, all of you.
You live in Florida.
Oh yeah, you got Florida.
Yeah, I do.
Really won.
You got Crocs. Yeah.
You got bath salts.
We ride those.
California, you can poop on the sidewalk in California. You can. It's legal.
He's not wrong.
You can poop on the sidewalk in California, and it's completely legal.
Nice.
It's not legal to dookie on the sidewalk, bro.
It is. Look it up.
It's not for black people. Frowned upon.
Get arrested ASAP for that. Hell no, it's not everybody. Please.
No.
Anyway, let's move on before we get in trouble. I guarantee I get my ass whooped if I poop on the side of the
Yo, that's a million views though.
ASAP.
That is a million views if you get someone to like film it and like as a social experiment to see what happens.
No, all that money's gonna go to my funeral because the cops will definitely.
Okay, so we did play Among Us, Sean. That was pretty good to have you in there.
Good,
so we gotta do one for the SpawnCast at some point. Just get everyone in for that.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
What about Click? Did you get a chance to play anything?
Hello?
Anything good?
Sephiroth?
Yes.
So how
Hello?
you might as well jump into this too, OJ, because I know that's mostly what you're playing, other than like Cyberpunk or anything like that. What'd you think of it, you guys?
I love
Again. That was cool as hell.
Yeah, do it again.
Okay, we're adults. Yeah, Sephiroth. No, he's been a ton of fun. I don't think I've enjoyed a DLC character's kits so much in recent time. I just enjoy him greatly, and I like the mode that they added in, where he's like the boss and you can unlock him early and stuff.
Yeah, that was a cool thing to have, to be like you can unlock it early if you want, if you can just beat him.
Man, put on very easy, be a scrub like me.
Man, I put on very hard, dude. Come on.
I wanted to.
Everybody in chat was like, "Oh, you did it on easy." I'm like, "Of course he would."
Yeah, heck yeah, I did it on easy because I'm not trying to sit there. It's not a hard challenge to do, but there's no point if you can put it on very easy.
It was fun.
What they should have done. is made it by default very easy or very hard, and you get one chance, and that's it. And if you don't beat him, if you don't beat him, that's it. You gotta wait.
Oh no, they weren't gonna do that.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. He was like, you can take a shot. That's it.
No, man, but Sephiroth is definitely the best. I would say in terms of like using him, it's the most fun and best character since Joker. Like he is like Hero was pretty funny just to troll people. Like that was like troll funny because he's just a stupid character that does crazy stuff. But in terms of actually like playing, Sephiroth is amazing. He has great range with his sword. He's just so much fun to use. Like he has some skills that are none of the other cast has, which a lot of characters have that, but his are really cool, especially like with this little side B reflection thing that he does. That actually reflects projectiles too, like a Hadouken or stuff like that, or Hadouken or whatever you call it. And like it reflects those back at him. So he's really good. He can zone. He can get up close in range. He has a good neutral air. He can fight off stage. He is awesome. I freaking love Sephiroth. Got him into Elite Smash that night. Got him into Elite Smash as well. And I just kept playing. Usually I stop playing as soon as I'm done with Elite Smash. I stopped playing, but I kept on playing and I fought against other people online, and it was great. I had good matches too. It seems like they improved the online a bit too, because the matches were I had like 2 laggy matches. I played like maybe like 40 or 50 matches online that night, and I probably had about 2 or 3 kind of laggy matches. Outside of that, everything was fairly smooth. Not like straight like offline play, but fairly smooth. But I could tell when somebody was in California because it was way smoother than like if somebody was like East Coast or something like that. So it was super fun. Like I really like Sephiroth. Like he's already like a main of mine. Like he's gonna be like my secondary. Joker's still like my number 1 person that I'll use because Joker is just a better character. But Sephiroth is definitely super fun to use. Like, you guys should go check him out. And like his winning screen. Oh my god,
that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh my god, all of his winning screens are really good. So it feels good to actually get the dub with him, especially when he walks off into the fire. He's the only character that has that has something like that. Nobody else has anything like that. Like the next closest would be like, I don't know. No, there is no like Piranha Plant. Like he like chomps Mario.
Only other cool one I think would probably be Joker, where he just keeps moving afterwards.
Yeah, Joker will just like Joker will just keep running, or like I think Simon or Richter, they'll just keep on doing like a whipping, like the whipping motion, like jumping, like the old school game. But his like he actually like he leaves the screen completely, which is really cool. Nice homage to the original Final Fantasy VII. So
for sure,
love that. Love Sephiroth, best character since then. And since they already announced this, I wonder who's the last 3. Like the last one. Who is the last one? If Sephiroth is freaking Thor, right?
It's gotta be something big.
You know what they should do? Sakurai just put himself in the game as the last character.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's the last one is Sakurai-san.
Just let him put himself in there.
I don't think Sora's gonna get him because they already had Hero. Okay, that was in the first one. They have Sephiroth. Another Square Enix, yeah, is probably very unlikely at this point. So that's why his chances. That's why like HMK was like, all right, guys, it's over, boys.
I mean, we got that awesome Kingdom Hearts game on the Switch now, so definitely worth $60. Fucking mobile rhythm game, yeah.
Man, you still salty? But everybody forgot about that kid.
Well, I mean, get like Master Chief in there. That'd be a big one.
Yeah, that'd be pretty big.
Just because of the 2 companies, obviously Microsoft crossing over Nintendo, or like Doom Guy, even you could count that as one of the last 3.
Yeah. I would like Doom Guy. If you think about it, Doom has such a strong presence on the Switch. Like you got Doom, you got Doom 2, you got Doom 3, you got Doom, other Doom, and Doom Eternal, Doom 64.
Could they put like Scorpion in for Mortal Kombat?
That would be cool. The only problem is you would have to tone them down. But I mean, they did it for that. What was it? Mortal Kombat versus DC game. That was MA or it was Team.
Yeah. I mean, they got Joker with a gun shooting people. I don't know.
But Joker's gun isn't real though. Even in the game, it's an airsoft gun.
Let's be real though. If they can tone down Bayonetta, I think they could tone down.
I would love Joker in Smash, the real Joker. I remember Joker's in Smash, and I'm like, that's not Joker. That's some dude from Persona. Fuck cares? That's not Joker. A Joker would be cool.
You specifically mean Joaquin Phoenix, right? That's who you're talking about.
I would take Jack. Jack is Jack. I love Jack Nicholson's Joker. But see, that's the thing. You could do different skins for him. It's that way you could have each type of Joker.
Well, he's never going to be in there. They're not going to do.
Shut up.
They're not going to
put Batman in it. Damn it! Where the hell's my Batman game on the Switch? System's been out for 4 years. I got all crappy Telltale games. I don't want to read and play a story. I want to play as Batman and do Batman shit.
Return to Arkham. Put that on there.
Siri, Jesus Christ! I will gladly play through Arkham City for a third time on a third platform.
So it's when do you think next character's coming? Think it's like around E3 June time next year is when they'll do the next character.
I think
how many do we have left? 3?
First within the first 3 months, first quarter next year.
Yeah, I think by around the same time Joker came out, so like around April or so, I think they'll have another character ready to go. And then E3 they'll have another character. Hopefully, you know what I would hope is that they get everything done because they dropped 2 characters on E3. Like it was they announced 2 characters. It was Hero and Banjo. They just need to finish it off. And they never ask Sakurai for anything ever again.
Can maybe go make a different game or something. Let him do something different.
Yeah,
let him do a farm. Different. Let him just go. Yeah, let him just go live with like his grandparents or something, and just live off. Never bother them again.
I would really love for them, like for the next one, just make a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Plus and just make a rollback netcode. Completely overhaul, make it rollback netcode, and you can maybe add in the DLC characters for whatever, and that's that. He needs to do something else. I think Smash Brothers is fine. The only problem is, or maybe make a single player mode. Maybe make an expansion single player mode to the game.
He might like to do that.
But, I mean, really, the only 2 things that they need would be like an expansion, real single player, and on like a rollback netcode. If they had those 2 things, I don't know if there even needs to be another.
That might be different enough for him to actually be really interested in doing that beyond like just adding characters. If he was allowed to sit down and create like a whole single player part to it, that'd be interesting to think about. Okay,
they could hashtag save Melee.
There you go. What about Jordan?
Just Cyberpunk.
Just Cyberpunk? That's all you're playing?
Just Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Man.
Okay, we'll come back to that then. That's fine. What about? All right, Nate. Actually, no, Nate. You hang on for a second. Jeff. What else? Anything good other than Cyberpunk?
I've gone back and started playing Hitman 2 a bunch again. Getting ready for Hitman 3. Sure. So that was fun. I like. You know what it is? I got the LG CX. I got a 65-inch LG CX.
Everybody's installed this TV, man.
It's the TV to get. And so I was like, I'm like, you know what? I want to play a game I really like on this thing. So I booted that up and I played like till 3 a.m. I didn't even mean to. And then I started Chrono Trigger on the DS. I never played it before, so I'm like trying to fill in that gap. So
nice.
Interesting. Okay, so the first time I played it,
like that is the right version, right? Like I've like asked around, like that's the one everyone's happy with.
Either that or the SNES version. Don't play the PS1 version because
the DS one is very good.
Yeah,
the DS one is really good. Just avoid like the PS1 version. You're good.
Okay. So so I just started that, but I'm enjoying it so far. I'm gonna see it through this time finally.
Okay,
but that's, I mean, then Cyberpunk and then some stuff I can't talk about until next year. So then, that's kind of that's been all my time.
Next year. Oh, I mean, I guess next year.
I guess next year's in like 5 minutes, man.
Yeah, that's okay. Interesting. Chrono Trigger for first time in 2020. Huh. That's a title right there for a video.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
Interesting. All right, Nate. Let's hear it.
I played. What did I play? Cyberpunk. More Pixel Junk Eden 2 because that game's amazing and people should be playing it. Played an indie game that comes out at the end of January that I can't talk about yet. I don't know why they already.
January.
That's like a month and a half from now, dude.
Yeah, I got a lot of lead time on this game. I probably will forget that it's coming out by the time January rolls around. So that's always a danger. Gears 5 Hive Busters, which MVG already mentioned, but it's outstanding. Anyone Game Pass should be playing that game. 3-player co-op. Looks amazing. Snacks. I platinumed Bug Snacks.
How hard is that game to... Is it an easy game to platinum?
It's not hard. It's a lot of grinding, basically.
Remember when you loved that game?
No.
No, whoa. Come on now.
There was a lot of talk around Bug Snacks.
You and Dreamcast guy were very adamant about the greatness of Bug Snacks.
It's no Goose Game. It's unique. I mean, it's a...
you're hyping up Goose Game.
It's like the Pokemon Snap where you can actually explore the environment a bit. You take a picture of a flying pizza and then you take pizza cutters and kill it and then feed it to a walking walrus.
Nate, you're gonna turn your camera on so we can see if your chair says Bug Snacks on it.
Right.
My chair is a 15-year-old office chair that I took from a construction site.
What? Why did you?
I was working as a
construction
Of course
site?
it is.
I was working all the office from. I'm with Nate on this one. That's where I got my chair before this one.
That's where you get all the good office supplies. I was working as a laborer there. They were shutting down the job, and they don't keep a lot of like the office equipment, and they're like, if anyone wants one, so I took an office chair.
He was like, this is mine now, and just left with it, and that was it.
Yeah, the super didn't care. They were looking to like, anyone want file cabinets? And like, I don't really need a file cabinet. I'd like a chair. And they're like, yeah, go for it. If not, we're throwing it in the dumpster anyways. So you always go to a construction site if you need wood or other random items.
Or copper.
I just walk on the construction site and ask.
Listen, man, you know.
No, you got a dumpster dive. You steal the copper, go to the scrap yard, and they'll give you some money. Now, if they catch you stealing the copper, then the guy on the construction site might cut your hand off with a
No, that's a criminal.
If you get out of there alive, you go talk to the guy, Jerry. He's in the back. He'll hook you up. Yeah.
Because people will strip the copper and sell it. Like crackheads used to do that all the time in North Carolina.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Evan, you want to hit us with a Discord question as we head into Cyberpunk talk?
Do you want me to just do one of the Cyberpunk ones, or?
Sure, let's do a Cyberpunk one.
All right. I guess we can start with the delisting of it. With the recent delisting of Cyberpunk on PlayStation Network, do you think this will make developers more skeptical to release clearly buggy and unstable games in future?
Well, MVG actually had a really good video discussing how it got through certification, and a lot of that had to do more so with the game not destroying your console once you try to open it, basically, and like do basic functionality of like going to like quick resume as an example, or like being able to go to dashboard, right? MVG, that's what you're explaining.
I mean, the cert process is there so your game doesn't brick the system, or it doesn't cause any kind of damage to the system. It's not. Certification is not there to test your game for, weird glitches and bugs and clipping through the world and stuff like that. I mean, they'll see those things and they may make notes on them and they may grade them, but anything that's not going to mess up the system is not something they usually test, right? So ultimately, they're just looking there to see that this game is playing nice within the confines of the system. So I mean, to answer the super chat question, I mean, I would say that, look, the developers obviously were crunching extremely hard on this game, and a lot of things just went through. Whether CD Projekt Red basically gave Sony and Microsoft a 10-page list of waivers that they wanted to exclude from the game and promised them in a day one patch. And I think that's ultimately what they ended up doing. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to put blame on the developers for this, right? Because they obviously worked many, many hours to make this game somewhat playable, for launch. But obviously, it was just not enough time at the end of the day,
I think the only thing that would really make like developers or companies like maybe think a little bit more about releasing their game is if like the refund policies across platforms was basically like Steam. So like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft's is probably the best out of the three, I would say, but even they will sometimes just deny your refund. Whereas Steam, if you haven't played more than 2 hours or something, it's just automatic. Like they take it out of your library and your money just goes right back in your account. Like no questions. You don't have to deal with anyone. You just click a button. So I think then I think some of these companies would think a little harder about that. When it comes to releasing like buggy or damaged games.
I don't think any developer that worked on the game would look you in the eye and say, yep, this game is ready, to go, right?
Oh, okay, yes.
The responsibility doesn't lie with the developers. I mean, they would tell you that, look, this game is not ready. We're looking at like an alpha build at best right now of this game,
Well, let's just go over to Cyberpunk then, because I thought we talked about it last week on the podcast. I thought it was like that was it. Like we weren't going to hear it. It wasn't going to get any worse, and somehow it got real bad. I have no idea how the bar fell that low. That was wild stuff all week. Every day something new was coming out about this game. We got to the point where it was delisted from Sony's own storefront, and Microsoft had to release a statement. Best Buy's taking the game back now up until Monday, I believe, 21st. So, and if not there, then you can go right to CD Projekt and they'll give your money back. I don't know if you have to mail them the game. I don't know how that works. But they're basically everything any way to get your money back if you're not happy with the purchase. And a lot of that has to do with the PS4 and the Xbox One base consoles, because like on the PS5 it crashes a lot and there are a lot of bugs. But my playthrough, because I played through it once, I have a little over 27 hours now in it, and I had some of the weirdest glitches and it crashed about 10 times, but the frame rate is like I'd say in the 50s most time. So it's at least been smooth enough to play. It doesn't look great all the time. In fact, sometimes it looks pretty bad. And I think that's just because it's basically the PS4 version being played on the PS5. But for what it is, it's at least playable.
That's one thing we need to be perfectly clear on. There is no PS5 version. There is no.
This is
Xbox
not a cross-gen game.
This is not a cross-gen game. There's a cross-gen patch coming, and honestly, that's the thing I bitched about it in my video today. That's the thing that pisses me off so much. Seeing CD Projekt Red say the older consoles, seeing even Microsoft and Xbox supports thing saying the game doesn't run well on older consoles. No, fuck you. There is no older console. This is the console that you designed the game for. The game was supposed to come out before the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X even came out. The last date we had was back in April. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X were not available on the marketplace. I mean, it's just that's what brings my piss to a boil with this. It's just like, shut up. Like, stop trying to shift the blame. Just say, yeah, you know what? We rushed this game out. We tried to make shareholders happy. And yes, it's not the developers' fault. The developers are sitting there making the game. They're being told, you need to have this game ready. If they say the game's not ready, the company says, I don't give a fuck. We need to get this game ready. And they push the game out there.
Yep.
It feels that way too. Like when you play it, doesn't it feel that way? That there's things missing, things just don't work.
Yes, definitely.
There's just huge gaps in what you would assume would be very in-depth systems, and even the systems that aren't there don't play together very nicely. They just don't mesh together very well. Like Kelly Plaguey's review when she said like I didn't feel the need to go into all this stuff that she got all that hate for. I think that speaks very clearly to like the state that this game was in, where you could go through huge chunks of this game and forget certain systems were even in there because the game is not like trying to like push you toward them at any point.
Encourage you, right? Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, and I think that's just a lack of that lack of direction comes from, I think, them just getting whatever they could make work into this game and then taking everything else out and then just shipping what they had. Yeah, it really feels that way. That's speculation, but it feels that way.
The crafting system, I barely touched.
I never used it. I've only played about 10 hours or so, but I've never used the crafting system.
Well, I started using it towards the end because I started getting like the right materials to do it, and like you start assembling guns and all this stuff. I'm like, all right, cool, I can make this, and then I look at it and I'm like, the gun I have now is better than the gun I'd craft. So I'm like, I don't really know
direction with the up.
I was gonna say they don't really walk you through a lot of stuff. Like you have to figure it out yourself or get help from like people around you.
I think the menu systems in general are.
Go ahead. Jim.
It's some of this. It's the most stuff that like holds this game back is how they structured where stuff is in the menus, how to get through the menus, how to navigate. Like one of the biggest pet peeves I need when I'm playing a game with an open world, I need a good, clear map that tells me what things are. And half the time, you cannot tell, aside from a main story mission or a non-main story mission, what the missions are. Especially if you just get something and you can't remember what that person's name just said, and you'll be shifting through all these things. Like, which one is it? You can go through the text messages and then find a link to get to where that mission is, but it doesn't tell you that. So you can spend half that time, or you can spend 3-4 times that amount looking for it in the overworld. It didn't clearly establish where and what to do for the side stuff. For the main stuff, to push you through the main story of the game, it pushes you through that. It's like a go here, go here, go here, go here. To do all the other stuff, which is better than the main story, it's all just whatever. It's you figure it out. And I think that was one of the biggest blows, because when I got to the area, I was doing a good mix of side stuff in the main story. But when you get to an area of the game at not too far in roughly, and it says, hey, this is it. You get to this point, this is the last mission. You can't do anything else. And I'm like, already? I've done like 5 story missions. Like, what do you mean it's at the end already? I think you can
beat this game easily in less than 20 hours.
Yeah.
15, yeah. Easy.
15.
I think you can do it, because I was doing side stuff too, and I beat the game in 22 hours. I actually had quite a bit of side stuff, and I ended up getting to the end, and I was definitely stronger than everything around me.
I completed multiple side people story missions by 15 hours and getting to the final mission.
I even had the double jump ability, and I was going in, and you get that ability, and the game like invites you to break it basically with double jump.
But the game,
really funny.
the extended game, everything else besides the main story, like all the other stuff you can find in the world, is great. There's some awesome lore. There's some really interesting
stories
stories
there. Yeah.
There's crazy stuff. Like, I'll give this example I was telling you guys before. I just happened upon a dead body that had a talking gun. It had an AI built into this gun. You just find it. You have a whole conversation with it. And as it's updating and learning to what it wants to do, I won't say what the gun does or doesn't do, but the gun, aside from talking, just starts humming Disturbia by Rihanna without any explanation. and it does it multiple times. It goes bum bum beat 'em. It just keeps doing that. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'm glad this made it into the game than some of the fixes, but it's the cool stuff that. The outer stuff you can find is great. It's fantastic.
They focus on some of the weirdest parts of this game, and then they left alone the most obvious things they should have worked on. Because it's really weird.
You know what I think? I think the super long development cycle hurt the game because they felt like, they probably saw all these other games doing things that were coming out throughout the years. And like, oh, we want to add something like this. Oh, it'd be cool to do this. And you just get so many ideas and the scope of the project. And obviously it was a large scope project, but the scope of the project just continues to grow and grow and grow. And now you got to worry about this, that, and the other thing. So almost too ambitious.
Yeah. Someone in there in that studio.
Do you think that's one of the weird things with this game is that people keep saying, oh, it's this long development cycle. It was announced in 2012. This game didn't enter active development until like 2016.
2016, yeah.
But there's still something there to it. Go ahead, MVG.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, The Witcher 3 was a very big game, right? Like everything I've heard is saying that The Witcher 3 is a much larger game than Cyberpunk. So, I mean, they should be used to making these large games by now.
Here's what I think threw them off. It's because it's in first person.
Absolutely.
So everything has to be a higher level of detail because you're so close to everything. Where like if this was third person and you're pulled back in the camera, like in The Witcher, you could get away with like someone not having markings on the inside, like on their palm, on their hand, when they hand, like, you know what I mean? Like they don't have to worry about that. Whereas here you're so close, every little detail. Like you walk around the city and there are so many parts that have unnecessary amounts of stuff there, whether it's posters on the wall or interactions they set up because you're so close to them. Then I'm like, they tried to go way too, like Sean said, ambitious here. And somebody in CD Projekt Red didn't know when to say stop.
They didn't have. There was no vision. Like there was, if there was a vision, they lost track of it because, like Sean was saying, like they took parts from all these other games and they slapped them all together, and there wasn't a lot of other like new stuff. But it's not just like, oh, there's nothing new. It's that the game it's not saying anything in terms of like your relationship to how you play this game. You're just going from one of these systems to the other, bouncing around. You're like, yeah, I recognize this. I did this in Watch Dogs, or I did this in Assassin's Creed or whatever. And it's all just feels like them like saying, okay, well, we got the Cyberpunk license. Are we going to make a game that feels like you're playing that tabletop game? And if they ever like started with that vision early on, it got lost somewhere along the way. And they're like, we just need to make the biggest, most ambitious open world game ever made. And I don't think you can make a game like that, period. Like that can't be your vision, to just make the biggest game. And it really feels like that was the mission statement here.
That's the saddest thing, because in this game, while there's so many things that try to push you away from playing it, from bugs to game breaking glitches and all the stuff that happens, what they nailed in here, and it shines through in these brief moments that would be so much better if the game was fully complete, is the development of the characters, the writing, and the relationships you can build within Night City. The genuine conversations I was having with characters, depending on who you choose the start, depending how you speak to them, how you alter different situations, really does make an impact and difference with certain characters later on in the game. And I won't spoil anything, but like you could do a lot by doing just random stuff and having legit conversations and planning stuff out. And I was surprised how deep those systems go, where they can lead up, and the side stories, and how well done some of them really are. And the writing is fantastic, and that's what they're great at. Like you play the Witcher games, like the writing in the Witcher is phenomenal, and that is in this game. That is definitely in here.
It's close. I don't think it's quite as good as The Witcher, but it's close.
No, I don't think it is either. I think it's just on par. Like I expect this level from them at minimum.
The side stories
it's not really for the main story. I thought the main story was kind of pretty generic, you know.
What are the stakes of the ending? I know we don't have to spoil anything, but like for everyone who finished it, like what are the stakes there at the end?
There really wasn't. It almost gives you that Mass Effect 3 type vibe, where it's like, here's where we biff it. Here's where we lose the plot.
At least Mass Effect 3 was fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying Cyberpunk isn't fun. I'm saying it's just not finished. Cyberpunk isn't finished. Cyberpunk definitely need another year to bake in the oven.
Much better game than Cyberpunk. It's a lot better game than Cyberpunk. The ending was obviously jacked, but you can't be crashing and glitches and bugs it's like it's cropped up even to like I'm playing on PS5 and I'm running into those issues to the point where I don't turn it back on. Like we've got to be fair with this game when it comes down to it. There's too many issues for me to even really have that much fun if it crashes every 3 or 4 times I boot it up. I know everybody's not having the same issues, but I mean,
I've had no hard crashes.
10 crashes.
I've had a lot of things that if I'm playing the game too long, I've noticed the longer I have the console on, the less things will load later on in a mission, so I'll have to restart it and then reload the game. That's about it. I've never had any hard crashes where I've had to stop my system or anything like that.
You didn't
no hard crashes.
What are you playing on?
I'm playing it on the Xbox Series.
Okay, I heard the Series X is the least prone to crashing over
it's the best console version. Yeah,
it's pretty stable. There is the glitches in the game still run amok, right? But half the time they aren't so annoying more than they are just kind of funny when you run into something that's really stupid. You're like, okay, that broke my immersion, but it was funny at least.
Right.
The T-posing random stuff. I sent a video to the group chat. I literally just found a whole wall that was missing in the game. It just shows under the map and you fall through it. I'm like, I just found a whole wall that wasn't put in the game. And I went there after I reloaded the game and it was still missing. Like it was purposely just not put there. And I was like, okay, that's
Click,
that's level of detail.
Did you play much of Cyberpunk, Click?
Yeah, I'm about 15 hours in or so.
Okay.
I'm just letting you guys talk. I've had glitches where like I'll be in the middle of a fight and then all the enemies just like lift up in the air and they just disappear. And then I'm just like left there and I'm like, but I know. I looked up in the sky. I'm looking down for clothes. I was looking around. And it's so funny you said that. But yeah, no, it's just like I needed your loot. I needed your money, you know? And so it's like, it's happened like a couple times. And then I've had I think it's only happened like once or twice, but like I'll be fighting and then like my health bar, like I just go from like 100 HP to 0. I just die immediately, like for no reason. And I have to like restart. I think I was like it was that mission where you have to get like the VIP access. And I was like basically done with that area. And then I was like fighting the last enemy and my character just like randomly dies. And I had to redo the whole thing, and I was just tilted.
Are you playing this on Stream, Click?
I'm on PC, yeah. So everybody saw it. Everybody's seeing this, and it's crashed like 3 or 4 times. And so I'm just like sitting there.
Me to stream. I don't know. There's some stuff in this game where I'm like, I think I would be allowed to stream this.
I have filters on, so I'm not running it like flat out, you know, 1, 2, or 3 kind of thing. But no, I think also this is definitely also a game where I feel like with the resources that it pulls from your PC, like I have a second PC that I'm waiting to come in still, and that should, you know, aside from the bugs, like I should run it fine. But you know, like even just streaming it on one PC is a nightmare enough in itself. Just turning everything down because there are just times where it just will drop frames like ridiculous and it'll pull all the usage on my computer and everything's like and my computer's fine, it's a strong computer, but it's just times where it just spikes up, you know.
Your PC, what's your
what are your specs?
Yeah, list every single spec right now.
I'm still on my 1080 Ti. I'm waiting on my 3090 to come in.
3090, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Rub it in.
Where'd you find a 3090?
Off a truck, man. Don't worry about it.
I'm having some a company that has been recommended me by other streamer friends, Power GPU. Shout out to them. You guys are great. They're building it for me.
Whoa,
it's not an ad. No, I'm definitely paying for it. That's just a friendly shout out. No, it's great. But yeah, it's definitely like, I feel like if you're going to be streaming games like this, you need to make sure you have the proper hardware for it. Obviously, unless you're streaming it from console, the PS5 or Series
streaming
X.
those PS4 versions. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting week though. It got pulled down from the PlayStation Store though after the deception, I guess, was realized. People started trying to refund, and from what I was seeing online, apparently one of the reasons that they may have pulled it from the PlayStation Store is because CD Projekt Red suggested that people go and get refunds from
that is
Sony.
the exact reason.
Okay, that's what I was seeing. Yes, so Sony wasn't too happy. And they're like, "Nah, we're pulling this down. You can't do that." Not because it goes against their refund policy, which is like, what's the refund policy? You download it, you own it. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sony's refund is if you download it, then you own it, and through their own terms of service, if they want to give refunds, they have to acknowledge that the game is faulty. And if the game is faulty, they cannot host it on their PlayStation Store. So they had to pull it if they were to issue refunds.
So Sony and Nintendo have basically the same return policy than I believe with digital games, which is basically like if you download it,
you can cancel. You can cancel an order. Basically, is what that is. Yeah,
right. But as soon as you download,
it's hardly a refund policy,
and it's physical on your system, that you own it then.
Yeah.
Right.
Once you start it, you own it. You're done.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's so yeah. Like you're saying, once they say you can have refunds, technically the game needs to be pulled then because it's considered faulty.
Yes.
Okay.
So their hand was forced in that spot of we either have to change our refund policy, or we have to acknowledge this game is broken and we're going to pull it from our store so we can issue the refunds.
And really, and CD Projekt Red made it very easy for them to say, yeah, this is a faulty product. Let's just go ahead and pull it. Like, It seems like there's not a lot of goodwill between those two companies right at the moment. I'm sure this is stuff that like will get cleared up over time and it could just be business, but I don't know. To me, that if I don't know if anyone read that Polygon story about like the edgelord marketing of CD Projekt Red. I think there's something to that, and I think that that attitude might have been in play here. That sort of edgelord attitude, that sort of like that Elon Musk on a conference call with investors calling people's questions stupid. I think there's something to that with the way that CD Projekt Red was dealing with partners here, and Sony not having a marketing deal, having arguably the worst console version because they didn't have a marketing deal, and getting all bombarded and getting bad press and getting like bad social media buzz because they're the company that's not they're anti-consumer because they're not letting people do refunds, and CD Projekt Red is the reason for all of this stuff, or their bad refund policy is a reason of itself, but bringing it up, bringing attention to it, pointing people at it, that CD Projekt Red did do that. And so, when the time came to like make a decision to say, how are we going to treat this? We're Sony, we're doing really well right now. We don't need to deal with this. Why would we want to deal with this? Let's just pull it and go enjoy our Christmas and then come back later and see if they're going to like want to be adults about this and actually like take responsibility for their game and kind of even it out going forward. And if I were Sony, I would probably make a pretty similar decision. I think I wouldn't want to deal with this either.
Okay, because Microsoft took a different approach. They just changed their refund policy so that it's pretty easy to get a refund if you want.
They expanded their existing refund policy.
I do wonder if some of that could have had to do with the amount of marketing they also put into the game themselves, because they had the marketing rights to the game. So
they had the marketing rights. They also aided some part of development. If you look in the
game runs better on Xbox Series X. It's like
there's also four versions of the game. So if you pull it, you're pulling 4 versions of that game as compared to 2. And we just said that the Xbox Series S version the X version
and the S, I think that's
they run pretty well. So, I think offering refunds is probably the right move instead of pulling it.
Yeah, it's smart for Microsoft to offer refunds because they do have a better refund policy in place. They don't have to change the entire thing like Sony was going to have to do to make this one exception. Microsoft has a good policy. They simply extended it, and now they put the disclaimer on the site saying, hey, it may cause problems. The consumer has been informed through every form of media. The BBC reported this. There's not going to be a lot of uninformed purchases at this point. Everyone's going to hesitate. And Microsoft is giving you the disclaimer. If you still hate it, you can still return it.
Yeah.
Sony was really in a spot of, we either have to make our refund policy good, or we just have to say this game is completely broken, follow our own terms, pull the game from our store, and we'll move forward from there. And hopefully CD Projekt Red, when it comes time to relisting, has a competent game on their hands.
Yeah, well, when do you think it's going back up on the PlayStation Store, though?
Not for a while.
2021.
Oh, wow.
January, I think the earliest.
Wow.
When there's a patch that makes
so they're going to have to recertify the game, and you damn well know that Sony this time around will not accept waivers on this game. Shit has to be rock solid this time. No ifs or buts. So it could be a while before we see it come back.
Now with all this like good moral kind of drifted away from CD Projekt Red at the moment, and they were banking on a lot of, they already made their money back in one day, but they were banking on a lot of hype with the multiplayer whenever that drops with microtransactions that they've stated. Do you feel that now they've completely shot themselves in the foot with that deal when that ever comes out? Like, how do we?
No one's like people already don't like all of that stuff. That no one's gonna.
That's what I'm gonna say. Because beforehand,
God, that's gonna be a rough. That's gonna be a tough needle to thread at that point.
Right?
No one's gonna want to hear about that shit.
It's free to play or no?
We don't know.
It should be just a download to like add on to the game.
I'll try. I like the gunplay.
But here's the thing.
Can't complain about that.
If this game came out solid, if this was a 9 out of 10, the game was perfect, basically everyone loved it, high marks, it played on all the consoles, then the multiplayer comes out with microtransactions. How would that do you see it being completely different? Would the gamers still have supported it for the microtransactions, even if they were stupid, because the game's so great, let's give this company more money, but now they can't really bank on that now. So this changes their whole strategy for how they have to release this multiplayer.
I mean, people were okay with they have Gwent, right? They have Gwent. That has microtransactions in it.
Yeah,
but that's Gwent.
This ain't gonna be Gwent.
Yeah.
People complain about microtransactions. That's one thing, but what we actually see is that people don't care because Call of Duty makes how much on microtransactions.
But this ain't Call
Overwatch,
of Duty.
But you say that, but I think there's a lot of people that would be like, okay, yeah, if it's a free to play, if you can download it,
it's free to play. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's free to play, they'll be like, okay, if I feel like spending the money on a microtransaction, I will. If I don't, then I'll just play the game. So I know people make a lot of noise about it, but I think if it was free to play and if you want to spend money on it, then people wouldn't have a problem because it's free to play.
Yeah.
So
people usually have an issue when you spend $60 on a game and then you go in and it's like, here's a whole cash shop you could also go through. People are like,
it affects the balance of the game.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this game a free to download separate game, or is this only if you have the game you can download?
There's been reports of them saying yes and no, and no one has any idea.
Okay.
Honestly, it's probably going to be longer even now before we find out.
I can't even imagine a world where we see this thing anytime soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be a long road before they get to that now. And this game is going they're going to have to try to rebuild that goodwill, and I guess they're probably never going to get to that position where they were before. But
I mean, we saw Sean Murray literally hide from people at one point for No Man's Sky, and now people love the game.
That's what they should do. I think they should look at
underground.
They should take a look and see what No Man's Sky did, that redemption story, that redemption arc, and just follow that path.
Hey, they made billions of dollars. Go build an underground bunker. You're good. I mean, go do that. Now, No Man's Sky made a recovery, so
yep.
I could see this game make a recovery because I bet you they'll also do things like free content that they add to it just outright. Like DLC will probably just be free and it'll probably be sizable. They'll just add it on. And they'll do their best to fix it. But when do you think next gen patches are coming out? You think that's a full year after release? Is that next holiday? And they're going to call it another release?
I think it's next holiday.
Yeah, they could actually re-release the game like that too.
Yes, they could.
Yeah, they could.
They might get a whole nother release out of this thing.
I mean, that's always the plan. That's the Grand Theft Auto strategy, right? You re-release the game on the next.
I bet you they do it because all we have right now are PlayStation.
The game worked the year before,
but all we have right now is a PS4 disc and an Xbox One disc. So if they re-release it in the new casing and it has ray tracing,
but the difference was that they Grand Theft Auto they charge they charge a price for it. This is supposed to be a free update.
Yeah, but this has ray tracing though.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a free ray tracing update, and they said that you're gonna get the next gen versions for free.
They're putting that on the outside of the box.
There's gonna be a lot of people, more people own next gen consoles by then. The people that are waiting, if they release it again, there's gonna be a lot of people who don't own this game, and if they release a next gen update and put a new sticker on it that does say ray tracing, they could get another bump there. It's just. It's a long gap between there. It's a chasm that they need to jump over, and they need to shut up and actually just do it. And that's kind of their only path forward.
I'll be curious to see their marketing strategies and how they handle that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because now there's apparently lawsuits they're looking at.
But it doesn't help that one of the lead dudes over at CD Projekt Red is liking tweets of people.
Oh gosh,
it doesn't help.
This won't stop. It won't. Just stop doing any of that.
Stop that. What is he doing?
People were basically comparing this game, Cyberpunk, to it was Avengers. They were like, Avengers.
People have compared it to everything, but the one tweet that he liked, they were comparing it to Avengers.
But the thing with Avengers,
bashing Avengers, saying it was.
Saying that they should get their money back for Avengers now because it's Avengers was bad when it came out. I'm like, all right, look, Avengers.
I mean, that's not wrong.
I didn't like Avengers, but I didn't like Avengers
because it
crashed.
Exactly. Yeah, it worked.
It didn't crash my PlayStation 10 times before I got to the end of the game. It at least worked. That was the biggest thing. I didn't like that it was basically Destiny, but
Yeah,
and it was pretty
Cyberpunk's not a
indicative of
finished
what
game.
the game was going to be. Everything that you saw for marketing for it, it wasn't really any deception for it. That's why I didn't buy it, because I was like, this shit doesn't appeal to me.
Absolutely.
That's their problem.
And they let us play it. They let us play the game, and it sucked. Okay, then don't buy it. You know?
That's true. We had like a beta and everything. That's right.
Yeah, there was a beta. There was a beta for the game, and I looked at it, I was like, yo, this game's not good, but I'm gonna try it out.
See, there's too much transparency there. Too much
transparency.
That was the problem. So, all right. So now we know that, I mean, the biggest thing people have an issue with in this game is just the deception that was in play leading up to its release. I think if they showed us the PS4 and the Xbox One and it was that bad, people would be like, well, I'm just not going to buy that game. And I feel like it wouldn't have been, it would have been still a whole story on its own, but it definitely wouldn't have been. I think they tricked us into buying this game.
The deception is beyond even the lack of PlayStation 4 and Xbox One base footage. They had deception to shareholders where they said,
yes,
it runs well. And then they come out with a statement in the last week of, we should have paid more attention to those versions. Which version did you pay attention to? You released 3 versions, PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. And you're openly admitting now that you didn't pay attention to 2/3 of these releases. So they should have just came out and said, a year plus ago, this game is coming to PC in 2020. We will consider bringing it to PS4 and Xbox One or PS5 and Series X in late 2021 or early 2022. Because what they released last week or earlier this month was just a PC version of this game. The console versions do not exist. This was a bullshit scam from day one, and the only reason it's on PS4 and Xbox One this month is a holiday cash grab.
Yeah, I honestly, I think there's one thing that a lot of us aren't really considering is that, like Nate just said, 2/3 of the versions weren't focused on. So what were they focusing on? The chairs. They were focusing on those Cyberpunk 2077 chairs.
It worked, man.
Because they knew
it worked.
They knew that was going to be the biggest big thing.
Oh my god!
I thought you had something to say. Me too.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I'm always sus when we play Among Us. I'm going to go right, I go left.
So I do have another quote for you, Nate.
It's really dark in here.
Well, hold on, I got a quick question for Grub. So Jeff, when you review the game and you go through the embargo, you kind of pick the version you want to play, and sometimes you don't get the version that you want. I'm not sure which one you picked, but obviously they gave you the PC version. Was there any point during that process, that embargo process, that something fell off with you when you were looking at this game, or did it just kind of feel like another game review?
Yeah, so every single game is a little bit different. So when there's something that's like different, you're just like, you roll with the punches normally, because it's software, it's messy, it's never the same thing. It's never just like go to the movie theater, watch the movie, review the movie. Games are a lot more complicated than that. And so in hindsight, I feel like I probably should have felt it was a little bit weird when they first offered us codes. There's a website you go to, a PR website. It's a great PR website where you can go and request codes. You guys are probably familiar with the one I'm talking about.
Yep.
And you go there and you say which version you want. And at that point, they gave us an opportunity to request any version that we wanted. Then a few days later, around Thanksgiving, a different internal PR person at CD Projekt Red reached out to us and said, hey, we have the PC codes ready to go, and then do you want one? It's like, okay, why did that shift happen? Why were we like over here for one thing, where this very useful website where you could get the code wherever you wanted, and now we're over here with clearly a much smaller group of people. Now we're talking now like NDAs are being mentioned, which is not always normal for most reviews. Mostly it's just verbal embargoes where you agree to something. NDAs aren't that common with reviews. At that point, I feel like I probably should have noticed something, but NDAs are becoming slightly more common recently, and this is a big game, and it's like, and games do get finished on one platform, and the codes are ready for, and the code is coming from GOG. Well, they own GOG; they can get as many codes as they want. So if they're struggling to get codes from Sony or Microsoft, these are the excuses we make in our head as we're going through this process. Really, I'm just thinking about like, all right, man, this release date's getting really close. Okay, the review embargo's this day. Okay, I got 6 days. I'm thinking about the work I have to do playing this game and reviewing it. That's where all my energy is going toward that. It's hard to to begin questioning whether the motives of these companies, especially when the recent experience in recent history, most of these companies have been very, very upfront and they're aware that they could look really bad if they mess up this process, and they don't try to deceive us. They don't try to deceive the media. This has been the recent history over for like the last 5-6 years that it hasn't really happened, especially with a game of this size, especially with a company, CD Projekt Red, that has this really good reputation. So it's easy to just make excuses for them and just say, okay, I just got this work. Let's get this work done. Let's get this review done. And I'm even going to assume that the review I'm giving for this PC version is mostly going to apply to these console versions. Yeah. And at no point did anyone from CD Projekt Red ever suggest that wasn't the case. And that's where, like, when I was writing those tweets and wrote my article saying I felt duped, that was a big part of it. It's they know, we don't. How am I really supposed to know? Especially when you've never ever suggested that anything that it could be otherwise, and that was very frustrating.
They kept the bumpers on. I mean, you weren't allowed to stray too far. So
exactly, yeah. And then and when you get treated like a horse being led along, led along the path, it's easy to feel very resentful, and I'm pretty resentful.
Sure.
Management and PR really did this game dirty. Like for 2 years, I brought this up multiple times every time they showed something off for 2 years, at least since 2018's E3, where they had behind closed doors showings of it. And the problem was every time they showed some gameplay or showed a piece in private or put something online, it was curated to a point with that what they showed was never the game. They showed off stuff that was a lie, so then they can go back to the developers and say, okay, make it this, live up to this expectation. And that was the biggest problem. They can never live up to that expectation because the expectations every time it was shown off was pushed past a barrier that they were not ready to be at yet. If this game had another year, I don't even think it could live up to the stuff we saw back in 2018. And that's just being light on that. The developers, I think, were, working their asses off trying to get what they could do to pull this last second release off. But this is on management. This is on the people publishing the game. This is not on the developers. Sure, there's other things you can blame on them, but they are still trying to make a game. It's not their fault. They didn't say, okay, it's ready to go.
Right.
So was it strange when they told you can only use the B-roll footage they provide?
That was another. It was slightly strange. So this happens somewhat frequently, where you get a written review embargo, and then they start telling you like when you can start putting out your own video content. Sony has a lot of this stuff, but usually that first embargo, you can post something from the game. You can post like the first level, and even like through like for like a second video embargo, they often have like a long list of stipulations. They have this great Google Doc you go through and you like click through and you make sure that you see each one individually. It's very well done, and you understand 100% what you're supposed to be doing. It is a little bit more rare to have an embargo where it's just like only B-roll, and then another one that's only video, or that where you can actually start posting your video. But where I make excuses in my brain during this process is, well, that second embargo, that video embargo, is also prior to release, or at least it looked like it was, like, because the release date is December 10th. This is December 9th, and I think it like lined up where it was like, it was pretty close.
It was
to, like,
the interesting thing,
the game.
Because what I was planning on doing, because I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to get this game as soon as I can so I can check it out, because we've been talking about it for like 8 years or something. So what I did was I looked online, and people were like, oh, just change your region on your Xbox to New Zealand, and it's like you can play it on the 9th. Then you can play it at noon on the 9th, and I was like, oh, great, because I saw the articles that were put up for the amount of bugs and stuff on PC. I was like, all right, good. So I can get it pretty early then and check it out. And as soon as that time hit, just about, I got an email, and it's like, here's your PS4 code from CD Projekt. I was like, that is exactly on release then that they were sending these out. And so that's when I downloaded it on the PlayStation and started playing it. But yeah, they waited until exactly the game came out to send the codes out for that.
It's really, and it's deliberate. It's done with full knowledge of what they're doing. If you are trying to sell a product and you have billions of dollars on the line, I somewhat don't blame anyone for trying to put their best foot forward. And another way of saying that is to manipulate the situation to be, to your advantage at every turn. You have to draw the line. If you're one of these companies where when you begin including other people in your manipulation without giving them full knowledge and full consent to what they're doing. And, we see them treating Sony and Microsoft very similarly. And so I'm not surprised that they would do that to the media, because what's the media compared to Sony and Microsoft? But this is clearly a company, I think, that felt like they we're going to be able to get away with anything during this process. And I think they found that they definitely couldn't, but I'm not sure if they've necessarily learned that lesson either with that guy out there liking tweets about.
How do you think that they felt like they could get away with a buggy PS4 and Xbox base version? Like, it was only a matter of time before that stuff was uncovered.
Arrogance. It's just arrogance. They thought they could come out with a mediocre game and people would buy into oh, don't worry, we have some patches coming up, because game companies have used patches as a band-aid for so long now. But the problem is that Cyberpunk 2077 needs a full body cast. It's not just a bandage here and there. This game is destroyed limb to limb. And I think even with their statements over the last week or so, every statement reads in a very deliberate manner and tone of, we're buying ourselves some time so we can get patches out, because gamers have short memories. All of a sudden, when this patch hits in February, people are going to forget about the shit show of December. If the game is actually good early next year, all of this is going to be erased from the majority of minds in the gaming community. And it shouldn't be erased. It should remain in the front. And you should remember, the next time you get hyped of a trailer that's a bullshot, don't hand over your money yet. Wait. Wait for things to develop.
I think these companies, I think the leadership of these companies often see themselves as like a Steve Jobs. Like, they can go in there and yell at their employees and say, get this done because I say so. And when I say something's going to happen, it's going to happen. And to me, it strikes me as like one of those situations where someone at the top, probably with pressure from the board of directors, more than likely that was the case, saying this game has to be out in the year 2020. It has to come out in the year 2020. Okay, you want to delay it? We'll give you a delay. We'll even let you delay it till December, but it's coming out in 2020. And so make it happen. And, the leadership, kind of thinks like, okay, we released The Witcher. We released The Witcher 3. So many people say it's the best game ever made. Why wouldn't we be able to get this done? And they go in there and they yell at their employees and they yell at the developers to make it happen. And it clearly just, it didn't happen. It's a failure.
What were you trying to say, Sean, before?
I was just going to say, if only someone had warned people ahead of time.
Oh gosh!
You know what? I'm kind of sus on the console versions of the game. Only someone would have done.
Plays Among Us once says sus every sentence.
I played it on Jay's stream too.
Nice.
What Eric's stream?
That's sus.
I just think the whole situation sucks because it definitely feels like kind of the battle of, do you want the immediate dollars up front versus the longevity of your reputation.
Exactly.
And yeah, gamers do have short memory, but not all of them do.
Yeah, this one feels different than No Man's Sky, right? I mean, I think when No Man's Sky dropped,
it was like holding the grudge against.
It was like a shit show for like a day. They went into hiding, and then they just came back and just fixed it. Like months and months later, right? This one is this whole week has been one thing after another for them, and it just seems like it's getting worse and worse. Like, it's not getting any better for them, and it just, I think, gamers do have a short memory. You're right. But I also think that, when The Witcher 4 comes out in like 10 years from now, people are going to remember this.
Yeah, I don't agree with this idea that the gamers have a short memory. I feel like every time that anything goes wrong, people are like, "Oh, this is just like Anthem, which burned me," or it's just, they have like a list. I feel like every gamer has this like grudge list that they bring out all the time.
The difference with No Man's Sky is No Man's Sky was an indie game that accidentally got too hyped where it became a AAA game, and everyone had all these expectations and they couldn't live up to it. This was a game that was for the last 8 years has been touted as the next thing in gaming. This will blow your socks off. Even though the development fully started only 3 years ago, this was the game that's going to change your life when you see it.
I think the terminology, though, like when we say like short memory, in the sense of like if they come in and they fix it, are they fully saved in our eyes, or are we still going to choose to be skeptical in the future? Like even if they do bring these patches, the game runs great. Like, are we going to forget that and be like, oh, they fixed it in time, so it's okay? Or are we actually going to like observe and do our research next time?
Well, that's the thing with short memory, is that you can have a major company come out. We'll use CD Projekt Red as an example. They come out with CP 2077, and there's a lot of problems here. And people are saying, let's hold them accountable, and you should absolutely hold them accountable. You should get refunds.
Yeah, this is what accountability
company was big enough. If they came out and said later this year, let's say E3, they announced Witcher 4. how many of the people who have outraged today are going to say, "Oh my God, Witcher 4"?
A lot.
80%. I don't know.
80% will do that.
Listen, I don't know. I think if they
look at the Witcher 4 trailers,
you got to keep in mind that there's like this outrage business involved. Like, you know, all the guys that were yelling at me for my 3 out of 5 review, you know, a few weeks ago, a lot of them have now shifted to the business of telling people why CD Projekt Red is like the scam artist and stuff. And I think that that outrage is good business, and if there's an opportunity to tell people like don't trust these scam artists again, I think there's going to be a lot of that especially if it's like 6 months from now. You know, if this company does turn this game around, I think we will be more forgiving, but I don't know, this reputation's gone forever. They're never CD Projekt Red.
It's tarnished for sure.
It's followed. I mean, it's followed EA forever for loot boxes, even though they don't do them as much as they used to. People still like. I mean, they released a whole big like content patch, sort of big for Squadrons.
Well, certain companies,
and people just still don't care.
Also, certain companies are always going to have this certain level of resentment towards them. I mean, we've seen Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo perform some shitty business maneuvers, but the second they announce this new game, it doesn't matter what they did before. They gave us that new item. They're Smithers and the Simpsons of, look at Malibu out of this. Has a new hat. Who cares if it was the same dollar or no? She's got a new hat now. Now we're excited. And that's what these companies always lean on.
You're right about those companies.
They lean into nostalgia. Lean into our hype of these things. And we fall for it continuously, and the marketers know that.
You just
they know they can screw it over once and say, "Oh, here's another great thing." Look at the Game Awards. Every year we know it's going to suck, and Jeff Keighley keeps selling us it.
I was about to say that.
No, but
is he selling you it, or is it content for us all to make about?
The Game Awards is free. Like when it comes to this game, but what game has been like this? No Man's Sky, like you said, that was an indie game. They showed us the game. It just didn't have what they said it was going to have, but the game wasn't like.
I remember when that game came out, I downloaded it, and it was 2 gigabytes, and I was like, all right, let's see what happens here.
We're just liars. But like, there's never been a big AAA game that's been in development for this long. That in this state. That what happened. Witcher 3 was buggy and crap at launch too. If people remember that,
it didn't get pulled from the store though.
You know, it was not good at launch either. I played it and I was like, why the hell does everybody think this is the best game in the world? I mean, it got patched to be a lot better, and it's definitely a lot better now than it was when it launched. But when it launched on the Xbox One, dude, it was.
I think one of the better examples about being weary right now that we have seen is someone for me, and I know you as well, OJ. I'm a big fan of the Mass Effect series. I'm a big fan of the Dragon Age series, right? And now EA with BioWare and all the handling behind the scenes has been on a trajectory where I don't trust BioWare. When I see their name pop up anymore, it doesn't mean what it used to mean. Right. When you saw BioWare pop up, you would go, "Oh my gosh, it's happening." Now you see BioWare and it's like, okay, impress me now.
You're just like, oh, what now?
And yes,
I'll give a shit about BioWare, to be honest. I don't even care. The name
exactly.
But
and here's my stance on it, right? I didn't support Anthem because I said I don't want to buy into this, and then the last game that they did for me was trash, in my opinion. I think they took a big misstep with it. And now that they're doing something new with Mass Effect, their apology game, and they're doing something completely weird and different with Dragon Age based off what they showed, that's it. This is my last. I'll give each game one more shot. Depending on what we see with Dragon Age, I have hosted that, but at least with Mass Effect, I'm giving one more chance to Mass Effect. If this game is any bit as bad of a launch and had the problems and all the lack of anyone behind the scenes working on it like it did last time, then I'm done. And I will not be foolish after. I will not pre-order the game right away, but I will still buy the game at launch. And these big AAA games, you didn't need to pre-order Cyberpunk. There's a billion copies out there. This is the most mass-printed game. This isn't a little one-off, 13 Sentinels. I can't go find it anywhere.
March 31st, man. They're gonna pull it up from the shelf. Man.
Right. It's gonna be one of those.
Nintendo.
There's so many copies of this game out there, and there's going to be with these major games. They're making sure that everyone can buy it because they want the most money that they can get. So I hope the next Mass Effect game is great. I have my faith in it. Still have to wait and see, but I will not pre-order it. I've learned my lesson from some.
Jordan, they're going to show you this statue and this really nice special edition.
There's going to be a motorcycle.
You're going to show up here on the podcast. You're going to be like, "Yep, I pre-ordered the new Mass Effect special edition."
The statue's going to have a new hat. He's going to be like, "It's a new hat."
Listen. Collector's editions pre-orders are different.
Okay.
At least
Jordan, I think you're right on point with what you're saying. Though this is how I finished my article the other day. Was saying that I'm not even really mad at CD Projekt Red, even though I do feel like they included me unwillingly in their deception. They were trying to do their business, and they live in this system of capitalism where people feel pressured to do this, make these sort of decisions where they would sacrifice their values and their ethics to do these sort of things. And I understand those pressures. But if that's going to be the way that they're going to treat me, I have to treat them the same. It's just business. Show me a good product. Show me a good product. Maybe I'll spend my money on it.
Well,
and that's the way I'm going to treat them going forward.
It's easy to get lost in the hype. And I saw some comments saying, "Oh, all you guys were excited for Cyberpunk." Yeah, it's a game that's been talked about for a long time. Okay, not all. You can shake your head, Sean. But like, yeah, it's the game I've always wanted. I'm a big Blade Runner fan, and you're telling me I can have a similar type city that I can go run around in? Heck yeah, I'm excited. The footage that they purposely showed off looked good. Yeah, I'm excited. Then right before launch, days before launch, it's like, yeah, this game's crap. The money's already taken out of your account if you pre-ordered it. You know, it's like, oh well, I don't have time to even change my mind, and now you can with all the refunds. But it's like any of that negativity that was going towards it, aside from Sean's video. There you go, Sean. You know, aside from Sean's, hey, we haven't seen this video. We had no clue. There was no direct put out there knowledge. It was just all speculation. And that's what it is. Of course, I was excited for the game. They showed off great stuff. It just wasn't real.
What were you saying, Click?
I was gonna say they knew that we don't know what we don't know. I mean, and again, kind of what Jeff was saying earlier, like this is the first happenstance, like in the last how many years, to where it's like you didn't really feel like you had to have your guard up. You know, you in a way, Absolutely. You know, even though they are a company, you kind of trusted it because it was just like the professional way it's always been handled. So, you know, and I do feel bad for the other creators, you know, like we joke about the chairs and stuff, haha, funny. But, you know, like some of these people, they genuinely are like, don't associate me necessarily with their marketing strategies necessarily, because I was just given what I was given, and what I was given worked. And you know, like that's kind of the gist of it. And I feel like it really sucks, again, because, you know, there's a lot of different ways that they could have approached it, you know, probably to save face. I know delays could have been a thing, or choosing not to have it on their consoles. You know, there are many different ways that they could have approached it, and it probably wouldn't have been the most optimal like choice, you know, as far as money goes. But again, it comes down to the process of, did you want to make money, or did you want to like save kind of your legacy with the gaming community? Because like we get upset, and when we get upset, a lot of people, you know, like they tend to hold grudges.
I think Nate has the right idea with delay everything but the PC version and just release the PC version this holiday.
We should have done that. Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, when your company has investors and you have shareholders, it's a public traded company with stock, you know, in the stock market, things tend to shift towards making the investors happy. And I think ultimately that's what they tried to do, and they lost sight of, you know, basically the general public and the fans of the game, and pretty much everyone they just kind of ran through in order to kind of shoehorn this release through the door this year. And here we are. You know, it's something that I hope you will take away from this and you know, learn some lessons from the industry in general. And hopefully we won't see this happen again, because it's been an absolute shit show from the very get-go.
GTA 6 is coming up, right? So here we go.
I think if anything,
GTA 5 on the PS5. No.
I think this really shows, it gives the best example of don't be a company or a product stan. You know, don't just be like, oh, I love everything this company does. They can do no wrong. Yeah. Whether it's a product or the company themselves.
It needs to be just business for you. It's just business for them. Right. It needs to be just business for us.
Objective.
As well.
Why am I going to be like, oh, I love this thing, but I'm just going to keep giving it my money. I'm just going to always give it my money. I love it so much. No, just like, you can care about a company, say, oh, I love their work, but don't just blindly buy into everything that they do. Well, if you love something, you should be the most vocal about calling the stuff out you don't like about it.
And you can still get your hopes up for things too. You can have anticipation.
Absolutely.
Yep. You know,
absolutely. Well, you can definitely have, you know, high hopes for things. But it's kind of like, I'll go to the Game Awards award of most anticipated title. How can I be anticipating Breath of the Wild 2 or Elden Ring? We don't know anything about them. We've seen 30-second trailers that show nothing of substance.
Don't even say its name, man. You're going to summon the people, man.
And you could be excited for it.
Like, I could be excited for it.
Yeah.
But people are going to sit there and be like, oh my God, this game's going to be the greatest game ever. What are you basing this on? You're basing it on your own perception of what you want this game to be. Well, and then when it doesn't live up to your own hype, it's, whoa, how dare you, From Software? You didn't give me the game I wanted. We showed you one trailer.
Yeah, look at Metroid
You
Prime 4.
marketed it in your own mind. We're not responsible.
You leave that PNG image alone.
Hey, listen, Prime 4 is literally here's a logo in space.
I'm still waiting on the demo. It was supposed to come out a couple months ago.
Who said that?
Oh, you didn't play it? It was kind of fun.
How about we finish this up before we go over some of the
on
super chats?
We have like a million super chats. Some dude dropped 100 in there.
Oh, let me check that chat for that. Let me ask you guys these questions though, because there was some unrest at CD Projekt Red as well. People had some questions for CD Projekt themselves, the publisher, and obviously the parent company of the studio. And one of them was, why did the company say the game was complete in January when that wasn't true?
Because lying keeps your shit.
This is the employees asking the management. Why did you say that?
Because company admin told
Shares.
investors that the game was ready. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Like I said, the executive team, I don't want to say they don't care about their employees, because that's incorrect, but their focus is to make their shareholders and their investors happy.
Okay.
And they think that'll benefit their employees. They're working backward. You're right. They're going to get sued to hell by their investors. That's the next step here. They're in a lot of trouble, I think, because they did lie to these investors.
Luckily, they got 8 million pre-orders.
Follow-up question then. This, I guess, was part of that same meeting. So it sounds like the management got beaten up pretty bad. One of them asked, how could they make a game about exploitative corporations while forcing devs to crunch?
Watch me is the answer. Watch us do that.
It all makes sense.
What is every Disney movie about? Overthrowing some evil thing? Like, yeah.
That is a rough question to get asked. You're like, oh.
I know Disney's out here pumping out Star Wars movies and like, wait a minute.
I want to see
overthrowing the evil empire.
I want to see Adam Badowski, is it Owinski, and the other guy Martin, the three guys. I want to see them do the Sony style apology when PSN got hacked, where they get on stage and they just bow and they apologize for like that's what I want to see.
Yes, the really deep Japanese bow. Yes, that's what I want. Absolutely.
Nothing else can come close to that.
I agree.
That's a good question, though. I'll give the employee that, whoever asked that. That's a good question. All right, so let's go. Evan, we have a Discord question over there you want to throw in there while I pull up the super chats? Yep. And we had two other quick topics, I guess. We do have the Super Nintendo World. They showed us 15 minutes
of it.
Those are happy
things.
I want to, yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm skimming through it right now, and this looks fucking amazing.
Miyamoto's so charming in that video, man. God, I want to hang out with him so bad.
I just want to live there.
I stand Miyamoto. I know everything we just said about this, but I stand Miyamoto.
You know what?
Sorry.
I will go. You know what? I will go to Florida just to be there.
My favorite part.
No, John, you can go there.
When he just brushed off.
Whether you come back is another thing.
Wow. Okay.
I want to actually make it back.
Native Floridian will protect you from Florida, man. All right.
My mom lands in Florida. They're gonna realize they made a big mistake picking Florida and say, now we're out.
Excuse me. Do you know how superior our parks are?
Okay, hold on.
Universal is
sorry. Okay, we're losing track. We're losing sidetrack. I'm getting defensive here.
Built in Florida.
Go ahead.
How about those super chats?
Let's go through some of the
questions.
The Discord question. Let's go through some of those.
We have a guy who's looking to sell his PS4 to purchase a PS5, and he's just trying to make sure that the backwards compatibility is good. So I imagine some of you have it.
It's very good actually for some of them. Like Days Gone is exceptional.
Excellent.
60 frames per second, but the game sucks.
Every game you care about is going to run better. It's really impressive.
Joe's Diner does not run on the PlayStation 5.
But there is one game. There's Shadow Complex Remastered doesn't run on the PlayStation 5.
No. They got it working. They updated it.
They got patched.
Yeah, go play it right now.
That is an awesome game. Everyone play that game. Yep.
Get your facts straight, Sean.
I'm sorry. When I am wrong, I admit I'm wrong. It's I'm not CD Projekt Red.
Damn.
Evan, another super chat.
We had another guy who just got his Xbox Series X today, and he is wondering which is the best game he can play right now on that system.
Gears 5 Hive Busters.
Forza Horizon 4.
Outer Wilds.
Kuza like a dragon.
I really like NBA 2K 2021 on it.
There you go. Easy enough. Or Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order is pretty good on it too.
Yeah, it's at 60, game. Right? Jedi Fallen Order runs at 60 on there.
I believe it. Yeah, it should. I'm trying to think. I think I played it for like 5 minutes when I was going through backwards compatibility stuff, but I know it ran much better than the Xbox One played it. So
good game.
Another Discord question, Evan?
Yeah, internet got a little choppy there, but seems to be leveled out. This guy keeps asking this question. All right. He's asking for a controller suggestion to play games on Game Pass and Windows. It has to work for both.
What? Just an Xbox?
Use an Xbox controller.
Use the new Xbox Series controller. Yeah. I would say that. Yeah. I mean, you could get just a DualShock. You get a war if you can find them, or
this Razer Wolverine version 2. It's corded. Let's go get this thing. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I like the Xbox because it has the guide button, but I mean, a lot of controllers like the from Sony or that one there will work. Yeah. You got another Discord question, Evan?
What did each of the SpawnCast members study at college, university, etc.?
Accounting. I went for just general business, and then I was like, I'm just wasting my parents' time.
Accounting and business.
And getting a job.
I have a degree in computer science and mathematics.
Oh, look at Mr. Gloating over here. Fancy degree. 2 or 4 year.
I went to
yell 2 or 4 year.
Yes, he did just yell that.
What were we saying, Clay?
No, I went for organizational communication and leadership, and also marketing.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a degree in kinesiology and also communication.
2 degrees.
Impressive. You got 2 raccoons, Sean. We can't all win.
Sean, you went more school than I did. I worked at Jimmy John's, man, and then you're like, I went to school and wasted my parents' time. I just didn't go to school at all.
Well, it was technically community college, but
I love Jimmy John's.
Nothing wrong with community college. The first 2 years of community college is the same you get at university.
This is true.
I went to junior college. I went to junior college first. I went to junior college, played football, then I transferred to Fresno State.
I enjoyed
saved a lot of money.
I enjoyed community college more than university.
I liked it because it was basically just because it was in the same town that I lived in for high school. And it was literally just high school where you could smoke cigarettes. And we were like, yeah, this fucking rule.
Sounds about right.
Let's go through some of the...
I have a master's degree in clinical psychology. So, yes.
You have a master's?
No cap.
Yes, I have a master's in clinical psychology.
What's wrong with me? Can you tell me?
Everything.
You just give me some
down with you for many hours.
All the things.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, he'll come back to you with it. No joke.
Okay, let's go through some of these super chats real quick. Nate, do you know what happened to Lost Soul Aside? That's from Commander.
It was supposed to release this year. We haven't heard about it in about 11 months, so I would assume it's delayed until 2021. And if we ever get an update on it again, it will be an interesting day.
Okay.
Not alongside Seasons of Heaven.
Not says, I heard that Keanu regrets his part in Cyberpunk more than the Lake House. Oof.
Hell no. They paid him bank for that.
Oh, yeah.
Not a damn thing.
No one's complaining about Keanu in that game. Everyone's happy with what he did. I mean, his acting's not great, but when is it ever? So whatever.
It's just weird to have him as such a jerk. It's just so weird.
Yeah, and
Bill and Ted.
He refers to his junk in a really obnoxious way. It was really off-putting, but yeah.
Mario says, "Can we get some pogs in chat for MVG Santa hat?" How do you put pogs in? How do you put that in the chat?
Go over to Twitch and then do it.
I don't like this. Okay,
no, I stole some pogs in the shoebox.
Twitch.tv/SpawnWave Media.
Okay. How did this happen? How did we lose the meaning of
nonsense? Because it's
Pog means play of the game and originated mainly around
Pog originated around.
I know
the milk cat craze of the late 90s.
I'm talking about the Twitch global emote is play of the game, aka awesome, aka yo, did you just see that? Yo, I totally just saw that, dude. Yeah, what do you think?
All I know is we used to stack
I heard an
up.
F word.
We used to.
Doesn't Sean have the Pog game?
Yes, what? I have the official. I'll grab it. Hold on.
Break out the box. Get the
Bust out the
Pog game with the
Pogs.
caveman monster.
All I know is we were way more civilized back in the day when we would just stack up
your go as well,
and we would slam it with these big pieces of metal. That's all I remember. Okay.
The slammer.
Yeah.
The slammers.
Yeah.
And you bet the slammer for every match you do to see who wins.
Oh, slammer. Those were expensive.
Yeah, that's why you bet them.
No way. I never bet.
We race for pinks, goddammit.
Yin yang thing with a flaming Jesus skull.
Look at all the pogs in Twitch chat. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Fringe, that's not wrong.
That's not wrong, Fringe.
That's a different kind of pog, you know?
That
You know?
Yo, so you know what Fringe's tabs are for. You know when he has those extra tabs going.
Yikes.
Hey, multitasking, you know?
Multitasking.
There we have the official POG game. Official 100% authentic.
Wow.
None of this bullshit.
What's POG stand for? I can't remember. Pacific Orange Goose? I can't remember.
Oh, never mind.
Now, I do have OJ Simpson POGs.
Oh my gosh.
These were very rare.
Did you show your grandma?
Actually has them.
Trail of blood.
We got,
Oh, I thought it said
OJ
trail.
and we got the white Bronco.
Hang on, I gotta zoom in on that.
don't know
No,
what I'm
put that
looking at
back up.
right
Put that back up. We're zooming in on it.
Yeah,
It is trail of blood, not trial. Y'all make me think I'm crazy.
And then I have Super Mario Brothers, the movie Pogs as well.
Oh no.
Yo, legit.
And then all the other
that's
Pogs
incredible.
are just official Pogs in here. And then we have, of course, the.
that's where you kept your weed. Don't shut up. Shut up. That's definitely where you kept your weed.
And then we have the official Pog board.
All right, where's the slammer? Get a slammer.
Most of the slammers I have are just
slammer.
plastic.
Oh,
You
don't
guys
have
realize
any-
most of the kids in your audience don't know what Pogs are, right?
You have the
guys
cool one where the
have
middle of it
no
actually
idea.
spins.
Don't know what Pogs
So
are.
here's the slammer.
Yeah.
Basically, I like when it comes to third-party slammers. I don't mind like the metal slammers and stuff like that. But as far as
He's doing his own video right now in the middle of this show.
the official Pogs, I want the real Pogs. It needs to say Pog on the back and stuff like that. Unless it's something special like these. And that's why I don't play
going
them.
on around there in the playground. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was
I think I
gambling.
have the official
Had to be-
POG game.
It was. We were legit. That is actual gambling that was going on.
That's what the reason the school is used to ban them. Yeah.
So were you a Pog champ?
I was damn good. Me and my cousin Nicholas used to play a lot because we both had the same set and the
Did
corner
did
store.
you guys smoke the candy cigarettes while you're doing it?
I'm
Oh,
sure
those
we
are
did.
dope.
Oh,
I sold those in high school during lunch. We
Well,
used
they
to sell
really let
them.
us do all kinds of stupid stuff in the
You
90s.
sold Pogs in high school? It was
No,
already
I
dead
sold
by
candy
then.
cigarettes. We sold
Oh.
candy cigarettes and Gatorade instead of the kids going to the machine and the candy counter. We sold them. We had a little book. We kept everyone's tab and we collected at the end of the week. And then a teacher found out about us and they shut us down. We had a little operation going.
My friends sold different things in high school. Moving on.
Yeah, you sold like a
All
watch.
right. Let's go through the rest of these real quick. Jalen says, you know that you're a big deal in video gaming history when you get your own boss challenge in Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm.
Dragoon says, why doesn't the PS5 have a gun accessory in game like Time Crisis? It would look great with an LG CX OLED.
They still haven't really figured out light guns.
Yeah, they mostly
I
just
mean,
use the sensor function, and that's so shit.
There's some tech that's going around right now, like the Sindon light gun and some other things. But I mean, you can't beat a CRT and a light gun keeping it all
Yeah.
Not
Is it just is it the brightness of the phosphor? Is that what it was?
It's the,
is that the
it's,
difference?
it's the beam, it's the CRT beam that basically lines up with the light from the light
okay, that
gun.
makes sense. Actually just
Not-
shooting out a beam of light. Right?
Not says Switch could probably run Cyber Chump. That's a new one. Pocket edition.
Good one.
Mr. Job says Cyberpunk runs awesome with my 2070 Super. Bow before PC Master Race says, imagine gaming on consoles in 2020.
Imagine donating just to say that.
Wow.
You know what's even funnier?
Imagine-
Imagine probably not having a girlfriend. Also, imagine that. Too, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Wait.
just imagine.
What has happened to this
Imagine
podcast?
sharing what other people
Exclusive?
enjoy.
I mean,
I'm just saying. Imagine that. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. Imagine not having a girlfriend.
Fuck up.
We were having a nice conversation.
OJ,
about
are you
proms
saying
and
you're
now-
breaking up with him, or?
That's very Paul.
Flocky says Cyberpunk 2077 runs perfect. You just need to buy a $3,000 PC and it'll be the best beta test you've ever played.
That's the plan.
There we go. Elliot says Cyberpunk 2077 is a great game on PC, just minor bugs, 65 hours in. Feel for console, but no other game has grabbed me like this outside of Hades and Last of Us 2. 65 hours now, that is a lot of Cyberpunk in a very short amount of time, I will say that. Disc Golf says, with card games regaining popularity, I've fallen in love with Magic the Gathering and Warhammer. Anyone play any card or tabletop games? What about you, Jordan? You play any tabletop games or card games over there?
Yeah, I mean, I still do the Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon as a new card game that's just hitting. That's coming right from Japan. That's
Digimon's
pretty
coming
awesome.
back.
Yep, big
Wow.
comeback next year for Digimon.
I
Everyone's like, that's not what we said. We said Magic. I'm like, well,
IDF IDEF says, can we get Jeff's thoughts on the original Watch Dogs?
I played it for a couple hours and was underwhelmed. I wasn't into it.
Shitty game.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was all right. It was a solid 7-8 game.
I didn't hate it. I just wasn't into it.
It did not deserve 3 games.
Osman says the game clearly wasn't finished. Can't customize your character afterwards. No transmod system. Terrible game AI. Police. No crafting sound and all the bugs. Liam says saying Sora. They said soda. Saying Sora can't get in because of Hero last pass and Sephiroth this pass. By that logic, would disqualify Chief as well because of Banjo and Steve, right? I think it's because of Square's copyrights or the way that they negotiate their stuff, right? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
It's a combination of the.
Going back to back Square Enix characters feels a bit much, and
I would say that Disney would be a harder fetch for me.
I don't know if Disney owns anything on Sora, but it could be a problem.
Yeah, because he has the Mickey Mouse logo on his Keyblade, and like that was a huge thing too.
There you go.
Like,
on top of that, like those were on 2 separate passes, right? So Banjo was on one, then Steve was on the other. We're talking about 2 Square Enix characters in the same,
back to back.
Back. That just doesn't seem likely. Now, if there was, let's say there was 2 last time, then maybe there'll be a 2 again, maybe, but. Chances are there's not going to be another one on there. Plus, on top of everything that we said, like with Disney, it just doesn't.
So like, you just not include Donald or Goofy? Because it's always like that's like their thing is like they're always together. I don't
think that would work into the final Smash, right? If Donald and Goofy show up,
like what else would he do? Like I guess he could seal the key.
And there's zero chance actually that Disney is going to work with Nintendo after.
If anything, they'd make their own fighting game. Yeah.
Nintendo has that deal with Universal. There is zero chance Disney does business with Nintendo.
Right.
No chance.
Someone remember that when it happens, though. Someone clip.
Yeah, seriously.
We would love to
come at me. Yeah. I'll be happy. It'll be fun.
Let this age poorly.
Yeah, let this age poorly. Yeah.
It's like Silent Hill.
Whoa. Hey.
I've never said anything about Silent Hill MVG. I don't know why you always put that shit on me.
He says that about Nate all the time. Demi says,
it's gonna happen, MVG. It's going to happen.
Anytime now. Anyone open for Smash Run as DLC for Ultimate?
Well, we talked about what they could do as like an expansion. Smash Run's kind of a corny mode, but it'd be cool if they added it. But I'd love like a real like a Subspace Emissary. Like if they put that back in, I think that'd be kind of cool. But actually make it good. Subspace Emissary was.
Well, then it's not Subspace Emissary. Yeah.
Subspace was good at the time. What do you mean?
At the time, it was very
all
good.
Those characters together.
If you go back and play it, it's kind of. But if they made it like a really cool, like where they focused on it, single player mode, I think that'd be super dope.
Mm-hmm.
Monroe says, I'm waiting for LGC 1, going to be announced January 11th. Zero says, Cyberpunk 2077 is ahead of its time. It's buggy, but there's stuff in it that I have never seen done in a game before. The world is massive, and it keeps surprising me to date. Grady
singing gun.
Grady says, new Twitch game streamer needs help to grow his channel. He also stream on Livid. LIVT. Michael Cocaine, yes, his real last name.
That made me laugh.
Yeah, it's a hell of a name right there.
Zero says, mind you, I'm playing on an Xbox One S external hard drive.
Cocaine. Was that a question?
No, that's for the because they just said they were enjoying their time with Cyberpunk.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
She don't lie.
God damn it, Nate.
Hope everyone's holiday is very good. Birthday is coming up in 3 days. Refunded Cyberpunk 2077. So what game is more worth my $60 on the PS5/4?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
You can get games on sale.
Not Godfall.
For less than 60 right now, right? Like
what
you can get a couple games. Yeah.
Well, according to MVG, not Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, not Assassin's Creed.
No.
Buy Deus Ex on the Wii U.
Don't do that.
What? Fuck that! No, fuck that. Deus Ex on the Wii U. The director's cut was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Well, this is only for PlayStation, right?
The only
you can get that one.
Why wouldn't you just get it on PC though?
I thought the question was only
because you can use the Wii U gamepad in interesting ways.
It was on the PS4, PS5. They said.
Yeah, get the Deus Ex game. What was it? Human Revolution.
God, I hated that game.
But why?
You want to talk about bad endings like we were talking about before? At the end of that game, you literally walk into a room and they go, push a button, get an ending. And I'm like, cool. I don't want to do any of this.
Very streamlined.
Not only that, but the DLC that came out almost a year later was integral to the story. Like,
just go, it happened.
$6 go buy.
It was a shit game.
If you're looking for a bunch of stuff to play this holidays, go buy a PlayStation Plus membership and get in the collections that they have.
True.
A lot of stuff in there. Persona's in there. Infamous is in there, which I need to go check out on the PS5 because I bet that looks awesome right now.
It was a colorful game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Zero says, I'm very worried that this is a game that could have been awesome, but customers killed it before giving it a chance to become something special. Though they're going to re-release it next year with a PS5 and Xbox Series version. And
customers didn't kill it; it killed itself.
Did he just blame us for all the deception that they did?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, we pre-ordered it. That's our fault.
We killed it.
So the customers, the fans. Okay, all right.
Good job, Grub. Killing it before you got a chance.
6 out of 10.
Thanks a lot, Sean. Thanks a lot, Sean. I watched your video before. Thank you, Sean.
How dare you?
Appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
Killing the game.
Yeah, Sean. The capital of France was telling us it was great.
I'm telling you, the game's going to get a re-release after like a year, and it's going to end up being a much better game, most likely. So.
If it runs, it runs, you know?
Yeah. I have a feeling that's going to happen. It's going to be a No Man's Sky situation, I bet. Eric said Goose Game actually works. Nate, unleash the hate. There you go.
Goose Game does work. Goose Game is a great game. Everyone should be playing Untitled Goose Game.
Ghost Sniper says Halo Infinite should have been released this year. That'd have been fun.
That would have been another incident.
No, yeah. Imagine how good 343 is feeling right now at like watching the Cyberpunk stuff happen. They're like, man, we made the right choice.
They were like, should we show what we have? And they did it like, okay, good. Yeah, we need to wait.
Did you see on Reddit, people like it started trending because people were like, Rockstar, take your time with GTA 6, please. That was funny.
I think we're going to get a lot of delays, and it's going to be a lot of people saying, well, there's been some situations where we just think maybe it'd be better if we delayed the game. And they're going to be clearly referencing Cyberpunk, and everyone's going to be like, oh, okay.
Everyone's going to start using yellow backgrounds for everything.
Yeah.
like Tropicana. That was awesome.
Oh, that one was funny.
That's why I've been saying people swear a game needs to be action open world to be good. I would have much rather seen Cyberpunk be like its source. Isma says, I think they had a clear vision because all the game was based on the book of the author Mike Pondsmith.
Yeah, if it was like anything like the tabletop game, I would agree, but it's not a lot like that.
Jared says Thronebreaker is a great game by CD Projekt Red. Great story. Quiet says, what is the point of Cyberpunk's character creator? Oh, because you can't really see. You can only see yourself when you look in the mirror.
I think there are a couple cutscenes, but that's about it.
I think
interactions and stuff.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed to like hide certain things, they made it so you can't see in a mirror unless you go click it and then you wait a few seconds and then it undoes. I don't know what they're masking with that, but it's so annoying.
There's definitely
the performance was like before they launched it, that was like when I would get 3 frames per second.
Oh no,
it is awful, and that glitches so many times.
That was before the performance patch.
Half the time when the mirror shows up,
half the time.
Yeah, exactly. My hair will disappear, and the facial expressions don't do anything. You hit ground and go.
Face wasn't there.
Okay, I thought that was just me. I was getting that too. Yeah.
The mirrors are ridiculous.
Okay.
And
then
hopefully in the next patch, you can just see the mirrors.
Dude, your character like wears some of the most ridiculous clothes half the time. Anyways, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It's great. Good game.
Paulie says, was the last Cyberpunk 2077 delay supposed to soften the blow of poor console performance by pointing to PS5 Series X gameplay? How much could be fixed in 3 weeks?
Not much.
Rock says, hey everyone, thank you for what you all do. Sean, been watching you for years. Will you give me oh my god, it's Stevie Richards. Lots of love, everyone.
Oh my god, it's Stevie Richards.
That's a little better.
Yeah. I'm out of practice, but he'll be coming back in February.
Humdrum
for the new game.
All right, Humdrum says I'll check that game out too. That could actually be a lot of fun. Humdrum says, Jeff, Halo has similar red flags to 2077. Thoughts?
I think it's exactly what we were just saying, that they're feeling really good about delaying it for a year right now. Like that the one company out of everyone right now that's like feeling good about the situation with Cyberpunk is 343. So yeah, I think you're right about the similar red flags, and they're handling it correctly. I think everyone agrees with that.
Mm-hmm.
Alan says, appreciate all of you. Baldwin says, Merry Christmas, SpawnCast. I've destroyed many consoles by trying to replicate your teardown videos, and a Happy New Year's. That was Baldwin with the big 99.99. Baldwin, thank you. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas to the SpawnCast.
Merry Christmas.
And and everyone will find out what they got for Christmas next week. because it's technically not Christmas yet. So, whereas next week it'll be the day after Christmas, right? That's the 26th,
yeah,
I think.
Day after Christmas.
So, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my
Friday.
gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I just paid $160 to make sure a PS5 would get to my nephew before Christmas. So.
Oh no.
Hopefully he's not watching.
Ooh.
Good luck.
Yeah. Good point.
John says, "Great content is always rewarded. Merry Christmas." Adjun says, "This won't matter in the long run to see Project Red. Blitzchung event occurred October 2019, and this November Blizzard released Shadowlands, which sold 3.7 million units in one day." There you go. Intoki Cruz says, "No info and celeb cameo gave me Death Stranding flashbacks. I was expecting people to disappoint with Cyberpunk 2077. Swag says, "Biggest mistake that CD Projekt Red made was to go public in 2018. Pressure from the investors will make the workplace suck even more." Yeah, I bet the next 2 months. Ooh.
The problem though with that is that when you're not, I mean, where's the funding coming from then? They get so much more money by going public. So I guess you'd have to do even more. Like, where would you get the money to hire the people to make the games when they go public? A bunch of people start giving you money. So I mean, I get that, but it's always an interesting balance.
It just goes back to what Grob was saying earlier, though. They're coming off as this like edgelord kind of company. Mm-hmm. But how can you be an edgelord company when you have investors, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why I pointed to Elon Musk, because Elon Musk kind of pulls it off, but he always feels like he's on the precipice of everything blowing up in his face. But the technology is there, and so it keeps working. And if it's not there with the game, and you're acting this way, it just looks childish at best.
The dog is barking in that example, but has the bite. CD Projekt Red was barking, but they didn't bite. They just. I'm
feeling Rockstar is kind of like that too. If you hear about their culture and stuff, but then they put out GTA 5 and GTA Online, and people are just like,
right. You always you hear those departures from Rockstar, and you always wonder is next time going to be the time it falls apart for them? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like if they show up at GTA 6 and it is it's revolutionary, and people are just like, yeah, okay, all right, cool. Yeah, they have the product, they back it up with the product, so people don't care as much.
I think GTA 6 will be pretty interesting.
Yeah. It could make Cyberpunk look really bad, possibly. So,
well, it'll make any open world game currently available look really bad.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. James says, "Is it just me, or is the whole hype culture ingrained in the game industry that it's not going to be possible to remove it?" Yeah, I mean the market's grown, so.
Video games are hype. I mean, they're entertainment at the end of the day. So I think that's just automatically been an association. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think when you're overhyped, your expectations are too high. You treat, you're not going in with an objective standpoint, waiting to be, kind of impressed versus, assuming that you're going to be impressed. I think that's the big deal that we suffer from.
Games aren't throwaway, right? They're $60, $70 now. We spend a lot of money on these things. It's not some throwaway entertainment experience. Your favorite artist might release a new album and it might surprise you. And it's just because you're going to stream that music. You're not even going to really think about it that much. A game's coming out. You want to know about it because you got to brace yourself to spend that $60, $70. You got to get hype yourself up to be like, I'm excited to do that. I hope it's good. I hope it lives up to all that hype because I'm going to be spending a lot of money on this thing. And I'm also going to be spending a lot of time playing it. It's not like a thing that you watch for 2 hours and then you move on.
It's big media involved.
We put a lot of ourselves into games, more so than other media, and that really changes the equation in our brains. The value that we process is so different.
You can go to a movie theater. Well, when they existed, you can go to a movie theater and spend between $8 to $20 on a ticket, depending where you live. Go see your movie and walk out either or going, I enjoyed that was great, or it was awful, whatever. Go on with your day. That's usually not the biggest problem. But when you're spending $60 and now plus $70 on certain games, and you have to commit a lot of time to them for the most part because you want to get your time versus money in, you can leave the bigger impact and how you decide on going about things in the future. So it's a lot bigger of an investment than any other media out there.
Yeah, mentally and financially. Yeah.
I think it's okay to be excited about things, but if you're just blindly excited, there's a difference.
Volxian says Cyberpunk development, main game, polish, DLC, and all will be complete by 2027. There you go. And Zune says example from history of a company losing gamers' faith was Sega. And all right, let's talk about Super Nintendo World. Super Nintendo World, we got that direct. It was 50 minutes. It was weird that they announced a Nintendo Direct for a theme park, but it was pretty good.
There's Miyamoto. We haven't seen him in years, so
Yeah, that's a good point. Did you see his hair?
Yeah, he looks fantastic. He looks happy. Yeah.
He looks great.
He also looks like he was like super involved in stuff. Like he was like talking about all of the attractions and like the discussions they were having. It's like, man, you got like Miyamoto making decisions about a theme park. That is like very exciting to me.
That's probably a dream of his too. Like
I bet it is. I mean, they talk about making the Mario toy, and like you could tell that this is something that he's always wanted to do. It's like, yeah, it was very intoxicating. His charisma about this whole thing. I was very into it.
Can we talk about the food? The food
looks amazing.
Looked so good.
That was like actually almost depressing thinking about, man, when am I going to get a chance to actually go there and eat there? Because that's so good.
And then you can beat the crap out of question blocks with your.
Okay, so I have a question about this.
The doubling wristbands?
They're encouraging people to go around and punch these blocks. Yes. I am curious how resilient these blocks are because they're going to get punched thousands of times like a day easily.
I bet they last really long in Japan, and I bet the American versions last a day each. And you have to replace it each day. Yeah.
The Japanese people are going to be like, lightly.
Yeah, they're going to be like, they're going to
be like, hey guys, watch this.
You're gonna break your bracelet then.
He's gonna Mortal Kombat uppercut one of these things.
Oh yeah, no. Everything they were showing, I was like, it looks like something right out of Mario, like the Mario universe. It was so cool to see that in person. And he's going down the warp pipe, and they have like the lights kind of trailing through the walls and all of this, and going underground. They have him going between the bricks. It's just everything was visually impressive, but they didn't show it as much as I thought they would in it.
No, they're leaving a lot up to kind of like for us to figure out later on, and it's pretty exciting. Like.
Spoilers, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even just the go-kart ride, like as someone who went to Universal so many times growing up, like even just seeing the way that they've like kind of orientated the different attractions is still very Universal-esque, but it's like as a kid, I always dreamed that Nintendo, would have like its own theme park. And I feel like this is like obviously the next best thing that we're going to get. But it's everything that we haven't seen and like the secrets that they're hiding. And I feel like Nintendo's done pretty well with secrets. So I'm really
apparently that roller coaster that they were mentioning when he was was walking through like Bowser's Castle kind of thing, right? Apparently he said they've been in development with that for 6 years now. And there was talks before in an interview about how there are like two different ones and they basically race against each other and you can use power-ups against the other roller coaster and all this stuff.
Universal's really interactive rides. It's wild.
That sounds cool. So I'm waiting. Somebody's gonna go there obviously for YouTube. There are a lot of YouTube channels that like review roller coasters. That's a review I would legitimately sit down and watch just to see how they pulled that off, because Nintendo had some interesting ideas for this theme park. They have like the wristband that you walk around with and you kind of check in at different places. I don't know what you do with the coins. I don't know if they mentioned it and I missed it.
It goes to the app, but they didn't say what you could use it for after you get it on the app. If you could redeem it or something.
Phone wallpapers and stuff, yeah.
I mean, if it's exclusive stuff, which I assume it will be, it's like stuff you can only get from coins from the theme park. That would probably get, like, people out there and interested, but they at least have that toy, I guess, that is exclusive to the theme park. But yeah, I do want to go. I don't know if it's going to be the one in Japan or if it'll be the one in, I don't know. Is California or Orlando getting the next one?
Probably Orlando. California.
Oh, you think California?
Really? You think Orlando? I feel like Hollywood would get the treatment first.
I thought they said Orlando first, but this is my coworker Mike Minotti is a huge theme park guy, and I remember him telling me that like they would do Orlando next. But I also remember him saying because of the pandemic, a lot of stuff is delayed. Like on hold. Like there's a hold on all building across Universal. Yeah. So if it's going to open, it's going to be a lot longer from now than what it was going to be. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, let's see what happens. Let's see how this whole vaccine thing works out. And then maybe I'm going to take a chance and go to Japan like, finally.
Like 3 years? 3 years, maybe?
I think that's optimistic, but maybe. Yeah.
If it comes to Orlando first, oh my Lord, I'm going there every weekend. Every weekend.
Like I said before, I will actually step over the line for Florida to go to the theme park.
Have fun.
Yes, I will. I will. Well, I'll fly.
I have an extra gator in the back. I'll let you.
Okay.
I'll introduce you.
Yeah, there was talk about like they were already like maybe clearing out space for like the Donkey Kong or Zelda expansion, and like that was like that was completely thrown out. Like that's just completely not going to happen right now because of the pandemic. So sorry you got excited, and now it's like
I heard about that too. Yeah, where they're mentioning So I do wonder how far they'll explore, like with some of their different franchises.
We'll see, because right now in Universal, there's a whole area just tailored to Marvel. So
can they do an Animal Crossing one?
Dude, all the kiosks, all the services could just be Animal Crossing themed.
Metroid's gonna get like a booth somewhere, Jordan.
We spent I swear, like an hour and a half, 2 hours after the direct, just like hypothesizing everything that we could do with different rides and different themes. Like Metroid could have really good ride ideas, What
about Zelda? What do they do with Zelda?
We were talking about Zelda. Wouldn't it be cool if you had, remember in Twilight Princess, you could go down Zora's River and shoot the jars with your bomb arrows?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be super cool. Yeah. It could be a lazy river, or it could be like a simulated one.
VR. Yeah, they could do that with
Do they have like a big master sword in the middle, or you go to try to pull it out of like the
that would have to be an attraction, dude. I mean, come on. Miyamoto, Aonuma-san, they're always doing that at presentations.
Like, no one actually does it.
I don't know. I wonder what you would get from that. Or they just have it kind of out of reach, but you see it. It's like part of that. That'd be cool. Sean, what'd you think of that? Of the theme park Nintendo has?
It looks dope as shit.
Right? it looks cool.
The underground part was like awesome. The only thing is, they're gonna have to limit like the amount of people in there. Also, it'll be like sardines walking through that shit, and you won't be able to really.
A3, man. It's gonna be like A3 every year. The way they line up in there.
That's when you bring a shank. And you just, get out of my way, bitch.
Especially if you're in the Florida one. Definitely
bring the E3, bring the shank. Yeah, to Florida, of course. Yeah.
You guys keep bashing Florida. I'll keep it all to myself because it's pretty nice here.
So I got a little thing here. A little blade.
God.
I always keep a blade in my car. You never know.
That's a box knife.
Well, there goes
I mean, I usually just have like a, like a little knife on it.
SpawnCast sponsored by Scalpel Inc. Cut your throat of your nearest friend.
Yeah.
Blades never dull.
I'll tell you this one story.
Oh no!
Real quick.
Right. So is this incriminating? Am I gonna have to testify?
No,
we're gonna be accessories.
Are you sure
after
you're not
the fact.
Florida man?
This is when I was living in North Carolina.
He really is.
So like, I was living in North Carolina and I was at the gas station near my house and I was pumping some gas and I'm looking and this dude is just grilling me and I'm like, man, some shit's about to go down. Cause like, I was very well known in my town. I had my issues or whatever.
Rotisserie style grilling?
Yeah, I mean, no, a little more than that. And so I'm like, shit. So I get in my car, I'm getting ready to go. And then he starts pulling up next to me and I'm like, oh shit. So I grabbed the knife and I'm just sitting there, I lit up a cigarette. I'm sitting there. I'm just like, shit's about to go down. I start scratching my face with like the bottom of it. And he rolls down the window. I roll down the window and like, I'm just about to go off on the dude. He's like, I think I know you. I'm like, yeah, you think you know me? And he's like, don't you do YouTube videos? And I'm like, drop the knife down. I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, I do, man. That's crazy. I never expected to meet someone in my town who knew who I was. So, a little side story there.
The lesson from that is don't approach Sean if you're a fan.
No, just because it was in my town. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't, and that was when the channel was much smaller, so I wasn't expecting anything like that.
Oh boy! So Super Nintendo World. Transitioning from knives and it's okay.
Great looking place. I'll go. My mom lives right near Universal Studios, and she always gets free shit there. So she moved there though. She's not from Florida. She moved there.
I mean, it'll probably be in. We're thinking Universal 3 to 4 years, maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's gonna be a little while. Otherwise, we got to go to Japan.
I mean, darn.
I mean, I might go to Japan. That'd be interesting. But
SpawnCast trip to Japan. Let's go.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, it would be pretty fun to go to Japan and just see Sean interact with different things there.
Mm-hmm.
Sean interacting with the outside
Based
world
on
in general.
all the stories that he keeps telling us here.
I mean, it's a wild world out there. You never know.
I'm looking forward to it though. I wonder if they'll have another direct or talk about it more in some kind of press release or something. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait for people to go there and I guess just film to show it off. So, but there's hoping people can travel more freely next year.
Wait for those copyright strikes. Can't wait for those.
Oh, that's true because they're playing music constantly there, and
I kind of want to be surprised. I don't want to watch people. I want to go there and experience. Yeah, I don't want to see the whole thing like somebody else did. It's like I want to go do it myself.
Yeah.
And Evan, Discord questions. Do you want to finish up with
last
before we talk about the Indie Direct, and we'll be done?
Last one. What are your thoughts on the recent bills for DMCA copyright strikes and the potential for being imprisoned for a minimum of 10 years?
It'll never go through.
I mean, it's attached to a bill that has to pass. That's the thing.
So it might go through.
Yeah, that's way over the top, way over the top. Because what could happen is I could be like, maybe I'm gonna turn on Sean one day, right? And Sean's like, hey, you want to do a discussion on my channel? I'm like, yeah, let's live stream it though. I show up, and all of a sudden I just start playing music on the other side, and then Sean's.
But like my thing is,
like, what are you doing? I'm like, ending everything.
My thing is when Ubisoft comes forward on Twitter and is like, oh yeah, you can definitely live stream our show, and then you do and you get 10 DMCA hits.
Feely said the same shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We should check out. I should check how many. I think I got 12.
Do they go to prison? Because that'd be fantastic.
I muted, so the Game Awards, I muted almost every time a trailer started. I muted it probably two seconds in as soon as I heard it. I still got DMCA striked.
Yep.
Wow.
On those.
Yeah.
Not even 2 seconds.
It was a lot of claims, at least. So I don't know how that works.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily strike, because I know when you do strikes.
Well, yeah, that was bad terminology on my point. Yeah.
Well, no. I don't know if there's even there might not even be that much of a difference.
It was blocked. Did yours get blocked?
Yeah, got blocked in certain countries and stuff. And I was like, I'll just take it down, whatever.
Well, the thing about it is that the problem with the claim, once you have that, it can turn into a strike whenever they feel like it. It's true. Your channel's up to them. They give them so much power. So a claim they can take down your video, they can strike it, they can do whatever they want. If they wanted to just hit you right now, John, with 10 strikes, your channel would just be shut down, and it would just be automatic. You would have no way of fixing that. You'd have to go through emails and stuff like that. You can dispute it, but they can just strike your channel down with those claims. So it just leaves it up to them. That's the biggest problem. Yeah, they're not douchebags though. They could strike it. They can literally check a box and they would strike your channel.
Yeah, I was hearing that YouTube is going to try to have a feature that they've been talking about using, where what happens is if you get a strike on something and it's like a part of a video, then they give you an option using the editing tool instead of just taking the video down to actually cut that out, and they would do it automatically and pull it, and then have your video go out that way.
They do have it to where you can cut out parts and everything. It's just it's up to them though. It's up to the other people. They can strike you, and then you don't get a chance to even respond. Now, if it's a claim, you get a chance to respond.
Well, that's apparently the update they're working on right now, is that they're going to come to you and say, do you want to take this out and avoid this? So it doesn't automatically strike it. It comes to you first, and then it's like, do you want to just take this part out before we strike?
That should have already been in there. I would agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Should have already been there.
I agree.
Instead of you not even having an opportunity to defend yourself, you know?
So I think the whole thing with that is outrageous.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really strange time on Twitch and YouTube if that actually goes through. And
I watched a lot of Twitch content creators say that they might just have to like avoid a lot of games, if not all games, and try and adjust their content output.
It will have a chilling effect, 100%. Yes. Yeah. That's probably actually the bigger risk, is the chilling effect. People just being like, I can't risk my income. I'm just going to not stream a bunch of stuff.
But even if you think you're safe, you might not be, because MVG, what happened to you? What happened to your own original music?
You talking about SoundCloud or Nintendo? Oh, SoundCloud. So yeah, I compose my own music and I put it on SoundCloud. I got copyright strikes for my own music on SoundCloud. I appealed and lost.
Right. He appealed and lost.
From who?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, the thing with SoundCloud's even worse than YouTube, because it doesn't tell you where it's coming from. It doesn't tell you like who's doing it. All it says is there is a copyright claim on your song, right?
Wow.
So I just shut my SoundCloud down, moved to Bandcamp, and Bandcamp have been awesome. They've been like looking after me very well. So
nice.
Shout outs to them.
Shout outs.
Fuck SoundCloud.
Much deservingly so after that, bro. You gotta be kidding.
I mean,
hashtag free MVG.
Oh boy. So we also had the Indie Direct. That's our last topic. Indie Direct. What did everyone think about it? Because the big game obviously was Among Us. That was their one more thing.
That's all we need to know.
Then we had like
cats.
Too many.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
There was a lot of cats, wasn't there?
2 cat games.
What's wrong with that?
2 cat games, too many.
Let us have our time.
2 cat games out of like what, 10 games total?
What did cats ever do? Okay, don't. Something happened to you.
Let's not find out what cats did to Sean.
No, is this story time? Tell us.
Wait, Sean, what did you do to cats? Is
nothing. I was a little kid, and my grandma, not my grandma that I always talk about, my grandma on my biological father's side, had a cat named Cleo. And I was looking for Cleo, and I looked under the couch, and she had like the couch where like it had a little flap on it, you know, and you see under it. I lifted up the flap, and Cleo was under there, like, and scratched me right in the face, and I was bleeding. I was like, what did I do to Cleo to deserve this? And ever since then, like cats just don't like me.
I have the featured games here: Spelunky 1 and 2,
Spelunky,
the Fluffs, which is like an arena fighter game with cats. Very Valet Tunshi. Cyber Shadow, which I think Cyber Shadow looks awesome.
Yes.
I'm excited for that. That's on March Day. That's next month. So
it is awesome. I've played that game a few times now. It looks
great. Good. I love the Messenger. This looks like something similar to that. So way
better than the Messenger.
Messenger is very good though. So you're hitting me with the CD Projekt Red hype right now, Nate.
No, it's no. I've played this game twice. I have defeated bosses in this game. This is Ninja Gaiden with Ninja Turtles.
Was that when they made you go to the hotel for some reason to play it?
No, that was fun. That was the two-headed dog.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I just want to make sure. Calico, which I think that's another cat game. Is that the one?
Yes,
that's the cat. One that has the cafe.
The cat cafe, yeah.
Cat cafe. I think it's out. I think it came out yesterday.
Alba, a wildlife adventure. Genosha. Happy Game, Super Meat Boy Forever, which looks very good. Grindstone, When the Past Was Around, Cosmocrats, Hoa, Hazel Sky, Trash Sailors.
I like Hazel Sky.
Hazel Sky was interesting. That's the one where they kind of were examining different things around them, right? It was like a 3D adventure style game.
3D adventure style game. Yeah. Those developers actually hit me up and they were like, "Oh, thank you so much for saying nice things about our game." I was like, "I just thought it looked cool. You're welcome."
And then Among Us. Among Us was the big announcement. Among Us immediately jumped to the top of the sales charts, like right away on the shop. It was maybe 30 minutes, boom, it was at the top.
Dust Fall Guys.
And it was $5. So that's a pretty good price on that. I think it's the same price it is on Steam, right? So I think it's free on mobile. It's free on mobile. It costs $5.
Yeah, I think it was like $6 on Steam for a while, but I think it might be $5 now.
But the Nintendo Japan Indie Show also had a game that the American side didn't, and it is Sky, Children of the Light from that game company. And those are the developers of Journey.
Which game company?
What?
I can't tell if John's joking or not. That game company.
They made Journey.
Yeah, but which one?
Journey.
Oh, he is messing with you.
Yeah.
Oh man, you sold that so hard.
This is why he's dangerous in Among Us, dude.
Yes. Man.
See, if you didn't say anything, Grub, I would have just ignored it and moved on.
I know. I'm sorry. It's my bad.
You put me back to that situation.
I really fucked you there. I'm sorry, man.
So why was that one only in the Japan indie show? But not...
It's dated for spring 2021, at least in Japan. I don't think they've dated it for America yet. This is probably the reason for the omission. But the game is, I think it's already on PS4.
What's the game?
And I think it's on mobile.
The Sky Children of Light.
Yeah.
It's on mobile. It's on mobile.
Mobile and PS4.
The game's amazing.
I didn't catch that.
I interviewed the creative director a few months back now on my How Games Make Money show, and it was a very good conversation. And they really talked about building a game, thinking about making it for mobile, but also keeping Switch in mind. And I was very impressed. It should be pretty good on Switch. I think it's going to do pretty well.
Yeah, it's going to fit the platform really nicely.
Yes.
Good to see Spelunky 1 and 2 there. That was cool. Super Meat Boy Forever, I'm on board with. Cyber Shadow, I'm really looking forward to that one. And then Among Us were probably the big ones that I really just stood out to me. And we got Sean to finally play Among Us, which means when Fall Guys comes to the Switch, we'll be able to play Fall Guys.
I already played Fall Guys and I hate it, and I think it's stupid.
Okay, but what did you think? What did you think of Among Us?
I think Among Us is fun. It's a very simple premise, but it's a very fun premise, and it's only $5. Whereas Fall Guys is going to be probably $20, and that game is not worth $20 to me.
Okay, but we're good with Among Us.
All right, cool. I like Among Us. Cool.
So we should play Among Us again at some point.
We'll take it.
Down.
Okay. All right. Good. So we'll do that. Maybe we'll do maybe what we should do is we should record a session, have it edited up, and we'll put it up as like a Christmas Day thing.
That's cool.
So we just film it this week, and then we just have it recording, and we just get it put together. That'd be fun.
I like Matthew's idea in the chat.
What's
Among
that?
Us is okay, but it's no Friday the 13th.
He's not wrong. I mean,
yeah. Among Us is fun. Yeah, because Among Us is fun. I know.
Whoa!
Wow.
I thought Friday 13th is getting shut down. Am I wrong about that?
No, just the
dedicated servers.
Yeah, dedicated servers.
Oh, I heard it becomes more fun when you get rid of the dedicated servers. Okay, cool.
Peer-to-peer on Switch is gonna be great.
John's
You know
the
what,
murderer.
Evan?
So they like Friday the 13th a lot. It's fun.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, but Among Us,
It's
we should
good.
do that. I think we should do that. That'd be fun.
I've yet to play it.
See, that's even better. If it's your first time playing it, it could be
People
more
are
fun.
like, "Oh, we'll play it." I download it on my phone. No one plays the game. Now they're, "Oh, buy it on the Switch." Why? So no one plays it.
Get it on the Switch, Nate. It's $5.
It's fun.
We need 10
Legit.
people. We need 10 people in a room.
And it is honestly, it's a really fun game to stream too, because every game is different. Every group that you play with is different. The dynamics.
What do you
change
think,
so much.
MVG?
The rules are different too.
MVG, you guys can all stream it if you want. I'll record it on my end and stuff, and I'll get it
rules are
edited up,
so
put it up. and
Come
everything.
on.
You guys were playing with weird rules. Like when I played with you, like it was so weird.
do you mean it
They
was
play
weird?
with the more normalized rules. You're
He's trying to say
actually the
use
one
white
playing
people
with the
rules.
weird one.
No, I did what? I did not say that.
I could tell.
What does he play? Like confirm
not an
imposter,
OJ.
Yeah, he
visual
plays
tests
he
on?
plays
Sir.
confirm imposter and all that. Yeah,
Aw, you're playing with training wheels, baby.
That's not training wheels.
That's
I'll
training
that
wheels.
is that's why the competitive version doesn't.
I like
Yeah.
Competitive version. It's gonna be at Evo.
No, they did like an all day thing on Twitch with it.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know what?
Yep.
You know what the crazy thing is? If they put it at Evo, it'd probably main event. Like more people would tune in for that than anything else, probably.
Just people yelling over each other.
That'd be great. I would actually watch that. I would tune in for that. That would be funny. And we're good with Discord questions, Evan?
Yep, clear.
So how about we do some of these outros while I finish up with the super chats and the Streamlabs? I think that's a good strategy. Jeff, thanks for joining us tonight. You want to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I tweet too much. Don't follow me unless you're prepared for that. It's just at Jeff Grubb. You can read what I write at gamesbeat.com. Gamesbeat Decides is our podcast that goes on youtube.com/Jeffrey Grubb. And you know, just check me out there. I appreciate it.
Let's go to, well, Sean's not here. Let's go to Miss Click.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. You guys can find me on YouTube as Misclick Gaming, or you can find me on Twitch as twitch.tv/misclick_live. I'm live pretty much every day except for Sundays. We'll be playing through as much as we can of Cyberpunk before I just give up because it keeps resetting me at horrible areas. And you know, it'll be great. It'll be great. Other than that, just Misclick on social media and I'll pop up for you. So yeah.
The Fallen says Super Nintendo World looks super corny.
Okay, edgelord.
That's good though.
But this guy loves to have fun. But he's
It's
life
too
at
cool.
life at the parties, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And
What else would it look like? Like you're bringing Mario to the real world. Like what?
Fire.
It's gonna look gritty. Like what do you
Death.
think it's gonna look like?
That fire and
Mario
Cyberpunk.
being stabbed by Sephiroth.
That looks fun. The Frozen Gamer did my first 100% completions of 64 and Sunshine and enjoyed both overall. Sunshine has considerably tighter controls and had fewer frustrating spots than 64. Currently halfway through Galaxy. Boom. All right.
What?
That's a take.
Yeah, that is a take.
Zero says you can have D and BZ sold. Okay. Still Alive says any of you guys collab with Young? Yeah, would be epic. I'm trying to get him on here. That'd be cool. Johnny R says Poggers. Man, the internet destroyed Pogs. Wow.
We're gonna bring it back.
they do.
You have to just accept it.
Yeah, she's
Accept
right.
it.
Nope.
You're just gonna have to.
Sean, start the Pog
You're
channel.
old now, guys.
I am totally
No.
for Pogs.
Pogs is a great thing, and we're gonna bring Pogs back.
Listen,
I can tell when people are using the one Pog and the other Pog now, and it's gonna. Like, oh, you're trying to get me, Jordan.
mhm,
Which Pog? Which Pog are we
Yeah.
referring?
No,
mhm.
I'm not even sure.
The one that matters the most.
But
No, Pogs were dope in Pogs were dope in high school, bro.
Oh my god.
They were dope. They
Okay,
were.
moving on. Next outro. Next
So
outro.
dope now.
with Christian says
I
with
think Queen made
CDPR
a song about them.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, Pogs were dope in high school. It was a great game.
And thanks for having me on. It's great.
with CDPR burning many gamers, is there a developer you felt burned by and feel hesitant on their future content minus EA?
All of them.
Kind of Bethesda to a degree, I'll be honest.
hmm
Bethesda kind of
Been feeling that way for a while. Yeah.
I mean, when they started sending out multi helmets, I was like, maybe not.
A little bit
I mean, a
of
lot of people are going to say EA. A lot of people say EA. So
Controversial on Platinum Games.
Mm-hmm.
really,
That's
I'm
a
on
good
board.
pick, actually.
OJ,
That's a
this
good
is,
pick.
excuse me.
what?
Just because they have some bad games between their good games, like what? Like why for platinum?
They're
I
lies.
just feel like they get a pass all the time because it's platinum.
Damn
games.
straight.
If you
Speak
look at,
up.
you look at their
Louder.
library closer.
Louder.
It's not as good as you think.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
it seems
disagree.
like the bad team and the good team, and I think
I
actually saying that
disagree.
might be the past year.
Their games don't launch all buggy and glitchy and jacked
Yeah.
up like they don't launch that way.
Wonderful
They have-
101 was pretty bad when it came out.
No,
Louder.
it plays fine.
Fuck
No,
that game.
Wait a minute. That wasn't bad when it
Louder.
launched on the Wii U.
No, I'm talking about the Switch version. It was
No, the Switch version is actually better than Wii. It just
Yeah,
wasn't
the one
what
that they already made, but then had you pay for
It just wasn't 60 frames. It wasn't 60 frames like they said. It still plays good on there. It's just not 60 frames like they said it was going to be, which I did give them. Everybody said, yo, you said it was going to be 60, but the game's still good. Game's
Okay.
not bad.
Well, my answer is I'm on the fence with Blizzard right now. So
Okay.
I'm a little hurt by that because apparently we all have phones. So
We do. So Jordan, you're saying more motorcycles in the platinum games?
more motorcycles.
I'm just making sure.
If Bayonetta 3 finally shows up and she's like, yo, I got a motorcycle, I'm like, give me the collector's edition right now. I'm not bored.
So wait. Oh yeah. Actually, Click. Are you gonna play the Diablo mobile game then?
He has
I
a
had a
phone.
phone.
We could get you the cable so you can plug it into your computer. You could stream it from your phone. That'd be pretty cool.
Game Freak is
I've heard
awesome.
nothing but good things about this game now.
Oh. Han says, "Hi SpawnCast, which is the best indie game of the year for each one of you? Greetings from Uruguay."
What year
was
does
the question
Sayonara
again?
Wild Hearts come out?
What's the
This year.
what's the best indie game of the year for each one of you?
indie game of the year.
Hades is the
I
best.
would
Hades.
say Hades.
Hades.
I got in.
Hades
late,
or
but-
Among Us. Does
I would
Among
say
Us count?
No, that was 2018.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, Among Us count. Wait, did Among Us
No,
count
Relevancy.
last year?
It originally came out in 2018, but who cares?
Oh.
Yeah,
2020.
I've made so many friends through Among Us this year.
sure.
Did you make so much money through Among Us this year?
Oh,
Security.
yeah.
Yes, yes, but that's not what it's about, Sean. That's not what it's about.
You gotta secure the bag.
Hades is dope, man.
I
love
haven't played Hades, so I don't know.
I don't know. That's tough.
Nate's the one that should be answering this because he plays
Really?
the most weird games that I've ever
That's
played.
true.
I mean, technically, if we're going indie game, I can go with Ori Will of the Wisp.
I knew you were gonna say Ori.
I think it's
Wow.
Key Sniper, but you know,
Sniper didn't come out this year, Fringe.
yeah, well, you know, it's
Yeah,
Among Us,
yeah,
but here we are.
Yeah.
Demi says, anyone picking up P5 Strikers day one? I am.
Yes, I am. I'm getting both versions. Can't wait.
No.
Super excited.
It's like a hack and slash.
Watch me play
it's
Strikers.
Warriors
Watch
game.
me play Strikers before I play Agent Calamity.
I quit.
Just to spite.
I'm not gonna be there that
No
week.
one wins in that situation. I lose. I spent the money
I'm
on
gonna
the
be
game I haven't played.
I'm gonna be sick that week.
Shadow.
Is it a
Shadow.
soccer game?
What?
Is it a soccer game? Did several games make it?
Haha.
Shadow Nexus says, I would rather have Tommy Wiseau in Cyberpunk.
He'd be good.
That would,
That'd be
you know what?
fantastic.
He'd fit.
There probably will be a mod for that now that it's been put out there on PC. I bet for it. Yep. John says Cyberpunk, more like Cyberflunk. Am I right?
Not wrong.
So no one says, has anyone played the Shadowrun games by Harebrained Schemes?
Yep.
I find those games to be better Cyberpunk RPGs than 2077.
Well,
That
I
was
mean,
on the Super Nintendo, right? Genesis, I believe there's
Genesis.
They did have one. I know they had one on the. I thought they had one on Super Nintendo as well, right? I remember that's the one.
Oh.
They're different games.
Are they?
but
Okay,
There's two Shadowrun games on either on either system. They're different games, but they're both really good games.
Elliot says, I wanted to say happy holidays to everyone on the SpawnCast. Hope none of you get coal in your stocking. And Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Pooh, says hello as well.
Hello.
I'm betting on Cole.
Jared says the way I avoid hype is not owning current gen hardware. PS4 currently playing Wind Waker and Chrono Trigger for the first time. All right, wow, good. That's wow. Okay, that's quite the way. Sacon 10 says sad week for Geno fans. Why people want him so much? OJ, why does everyone want Geno? Explain this to me, because
Meme.
for in Smash, right? People, it was a big thing. It's trended on Twitter.
Everybody doesn't want. It's just a very small vocal minority of people.
Yep.
That want
Look,
Geno
here
in Smash.
he's just cool, all right?
He's a cool. He's a cool character in
What?
Super Mario RPG.
He
He's a
looks
cool
like
character.
a Pinocchio gone wrong.
Yeah, but you couldn't tell back in the day because it was on the Super Nintendo and like this a bunch of pixels. And he just shows up out of nowhere. He's from space, and it's like you're playing this Mario game, and all of a sudden the space guy comes, and he has like an arm cannon. He's cool.
So
like,
he's
famous. There's so many other like if they put Gino in Smash, people be like, who the people only know him from memes. No, it's like that's really what people.
Gino got in Smash before Crystal. I would rage.
I mean, Gino's cool. And all. Like Super Mario RPG, I love Super Mario RPG. It's one of my favorite games, but it's just like Gino. I mean, he's a Mii fighter, so I guess we can put this to rest, right? He's a Mii fighter now. There's no need to.
He's done. Yep,
he's done.
Let's go to OJ. Where can they find you, man?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. I got a lot of cool videos that I'm working on for the upcoming week. I got a tips and tricks video for Bravely Default 2, the final demo. That's going up. Reactions for my Super Nintendo World and some other cool Switch videos and some Persona 5 Strikers stuff. I got some cool stuff coming in from Atlas for that. So that should be fun. So yeah, check out the channel if you can. And I stream daily too. So we come there and I get triggered over everything apparently because people don't know what entertainment is. So yeah. So check out the channel if you can.
Someone sounds
going with Lloyd Irving. How about that for the next character?
That would be
Irving.
That would be super dope.
Yeah. Someone in chat mentioned, we don't have to spoil it, but the finale of Mandalorian season 2.
I saw that. Yes.
Yo, that cemented the show. It said, yo, this is how you fix Disney Star Wars.
It was very, very good. Yes.
It's very
Isn't it funny how people bitch for years and years about Disney and their Star Wars stuff, and they do one thing and now everyone's sucking their dick.
Well,
Cyberpunk.
I will heavily criticize a lot of their films, but the show has been fantastic. And okay.
I don't watch that shit. I mean,
I guess
I like the Star Wars trilogy, and like that's it, the original trilogy, and they lost me.
Well, then you should like Mandalorian because
I have quarrel with some things in the Mandalorian, but I will say for me it is leagues ahead of the other recent things they've put out.
Leagues ahead, dude. The movies look crap compared to this.
Yes, Jon Favreau did a very good job with that with everyone else. So
yes,
it's good work. Baldwin says, "When is Tetris coming to Smash?" I don't
block.
Anyway, you joke. Sakurai would figure out a way to work.
The Tetris music in there would be bomb for sure.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Make it work somehow.
Heido says, anyone play through Watch Dogs Legion? Got it for the Mass Collector's Edition mainly, and only played an hour of it. I think I played like 15 hours of it before everything else started hitting, and I put it down.
Yeah, I played about maybe 10 hours, and I was like, nah.
It's just boring.
Yeah, it really is.
Direction.
It really is. Yeah, I agree.
And
Immortals Phoenix Rising got overshadowed by it, which is the better fucking game.
Yeah, Immortals is good. I like Immortals.
Shalera says, any idea how Mike Pondsmith feels about the way Cyberpunk has turned out?
I don't think he's spoken publicly about it since it launched. So yeah, he's the creator of Cyberpunk. So in case anyone,
I probably wouldn't say too much on it right now. I'd just let it die out right now.
Nintendo Eric says, how many members of the SpawnCast have played No Man's Sky since it's fully updated? I have not gone back and played that.
I'm not, but I want to play the VR stuff in it.
I don't think it was the full update, but I did play it like a year ago. It was pretty good.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I played it. Yeah,
I've gone back and taken a look. I mean, looks like they've done a good job fixing that game.
And Vanessa says, Phantasy Star Online celebrates its 20th birthday on Monday, December 21st. Have any of you been looking at Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis? Beta starts soon in Japan.
Nope.
I played the beta, but I think I just realized I don't want to play online with a bunch of other people. Like it was so bad. The beta was so horrible, and I could barely get in. I just don't feel like playing, like going through all that crap.
Winkle says, quick play, solo smash, online 1v1. You win first. Click yes for rematch. They win second, then they leave. I know scared.
That is the classic. That is the classic of what happens online on quick play.
That's just fighting games in general, though.
Yeah, that's because some of them lock you into a set, though. Like lock you into like Street Fighter. It locks you into a set, or unless you rage quit. But Smash Brothers, it's like you get the one game, and then if you lose, or if you win, they'll be like, I'll try it again. If they win the next one, then they're out.
Demi says, have you seen the Cyberpunk Switch video? I think it's Nintendo did that, right? Yeah, they streamed it through. Was it just Stadia streamed it through? Oh, yeah. And Space Jam 64 says, how many Dunkaroos can RGT eat? Invite 8-Bit Eric.
As many as you put in front of me.
There you go.
So this is how we kill RGT.
Infernal says
Dunkaroo death.
Cyberpunk will never live up to Friday the 13th legendary glitches.
Not wrong.
Well, Cyberpunk, I mean,
at least fun. And it's
Friday the 13th to win at something. I guess glitches. Steven says, "Merry Christmas. If you could have any 2021 scheduled game for Christmas, what would it be?" 2021 scheduled game.
Scheduled game.
Really, not that many that have a schedule.
Too.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of games don't even have dates or like years on them right now.
Except for God of War, technically.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
I guess you'd say bring God of War, because I'm trying to think of any other game that's like, we're definitely coming out in 2021.
Horizon.
I mean, I guess Horizon is coming
right now. I think I'm in the mood for like a Ratchet type game.
But like even Ratchet,
Ratchet's the one I would want to play.
Yeah,
I'll take that right now. That'd be
fun and arcadey, but that's not something you go back to, you know.
I would go back to it more than God of War. I would,
Really, even with like things like Valkyrie fights and stuff.
Yeah, God of War's a one and done. You beat the story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
really?
no.
I did some of the Valkyrie fights. It was annoying.
Yeah.
I beat my
intense.
I'll wait for the next one.
Oh.
Lee Parker says, anyone going to do a future video on the Atari VCS? The reviews I found make it seem worse than expected, but I feel there is a custom firmware potential. Well, whenever it shows up, people are getting them, and I still don't have mine. So,
wasn't there Atari VCS news this past week? I'm like struggling to remember what it was.
They actually shipped them. People started getting them.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yes, the news literally is that they actually gave them to people. Like people actually got their product they paid for 3 years ago. I haven't got mine yet. So
one day.
Wait, maybe. I don't know. I'm supposed to have it by Christmas, so they got this week. And then we'll look at it. Osman says, Merry Christmas, SpawnCast. Shout out to Jeff Grubb. Great article on the Cyberpunk debacle. I enjoy your content. Keep it up. Good work.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
James says, COVID really hurt us here in Orlando, so I'm hoping our version of Nintendo World doesn't get canceled. Hope you all have great and safe holidays. They just talked about it coming to Orlando in that direct, so I think they're gonna go forward with it. They'll just take a little longer probably to get it done.
Mm-hmm. They invested way too much money to cancel it.
Trickera says RGT is like at the real cutting edge gamer. That's good. Joshua says just got a new 1.7 gigabyte Cyberpunk patch on PC. Still loving the game. Zach Smith, any news on Eastward, Blue Fire, Baldo, or Silksong? Switch indies I was looking for at the direct. Silksong, you know what? They might as well just upgrade that thing to whenever they do a full Nintendo Direct at this point.
Same thing with Baldo, honestly. Baldo looks fucking amazing.
Did Skatebird ever come out yet?
No, it's coming out next. It's supposed to be this next year, like sometime in the
ridiculous.
RGT, where can they find you?
Find me on RGT85 on the YouTubes and Twitters and whatnot. We got some stuff planned for this week. I will be gone Christmas Eve and Christmas Day because I'm just gonna sit at my grandma's house and eat a bunch of food and talk about O.J. Simpson. So we'll see how that goes.
You gonna wear your jersey?
Yeah, I'll bring the jersey. I'll bring it out.
Gonna get some cardio in. Get some running.
No. No.
Lotion the feet.
No.
Tyler Miller says, what anime is everyone watching? Lastly, currently catching with Attack on Titan right now in season 3, part 2.
I'm watching still.
What are we watching? Or are we watching?
I mean, really, I was just rolling through Mandalorian recently, so I haven't watched any kind of anime or anything. And I'm still waiting for One Punch to show up. Okay, where's the next season?
I know.
Yep.
I started My Hero, and then I started Demon Slayer.
You started it. Okay, yeah, My Hero's good. I'm still waiting for that. Next season for that too. So
yeah, I like Demon Slayer too. It's pretty good.
Oh, and you started Demon Slayer? Mm-hmm. Dang, that's a dope combo right there. That's so good.
I think I picked up.
I want to try Dr. Stone.
That one's pretty good, but it gets like weirdly dark at situations. I've been watching The Irregular at Magic High School, but it hasn't gotten as crazy as it was in the first season yet. So,
MVG, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer. I have a video coming out on Monday, and I will be taking a short break from videos to celebrate the holiday, and I'll be back on January the 4th. But I'll be around on Twitter next week.
That's OJ. Make sure you yell at him like you yelled at me that one time.
About what?
About taking a couple days off.
I don't yell at I respect my elders, all right? I don't yell. I respect MVG. I don't talk to MVG like that, all right?
Oh my god.
And still alive, going back to when you guys were talking about spending $6 in games. Remember when some SNES games back in the day cost up to $70? Specifically Final Fantasy VI. We got a quality game though.
Yeah, because N64 games were like $90.
That's because of the cartridges and the parts that went into it were expensive. Now we have everything on like a Blu-ray disc or just digital. So, and Cinnamon the Hacker, what had a better launch, Cyberpunk or Fallout 76? Fallout 76, I would say, had a better launch.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't get pulled from the stores, did it?
That is correct. That is correct. They sent out moldy helmets, and Cyberpunk's still worse.
They wanted to pull it from the stores, but they didn't know how to. It glitched. They couldn't figure it out.
It's stuck on here. We don't know what
they would have, but they just couldn't do it. They're like, how do we do this shit? And then they did it themselves one time. One time it was uninstalling from people's hard drive.
That's okay.
So Andrew says Sonic drive-through ride featuring Sean at Nintendo World Orlando.
Oh, that would be wild, dude.
That would be good. Jordan, where can they find you, man?
You can just follow me on Twitter, JordanFringe94. Sometimes I tweet, sometimes I don't. That's about it.
All right. What about Evan?
You can follow me on Twitter as well, Kimmerix Project, and it's I've been streaming a little bit this week of a game I guess we didn't talk about. Synthetic just dropped on Switch and Xbox. You guys should really check it out if you haven't yet. I just wanted to give it a little shout out because it is
What
awesome.
type of game is it?
Top-down isometric shooting game, extremely difficult, class-based roguelike with levels, just all kinds of crazy enhancements, and it is hard as shit. I've played it for so many hours, I haven't gotten past the third boss yet.
Well, let me look at the Streamlabs before we close out here. Liam says it's going to be hard to convince people the Game Awards aren't rigged if Cyberpunk gets nominated for Game of the Year after this disaster, even if it isn't.
All right.
Real quick, it's also co-op, 2-player. I just wanted to make sure to put that in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sean, how can you look at this and hate it?
What am I looking at?
My son.
Oh, because look at it, it's evil. He's thinking about mischievous.
Look at that smug as fuck face right there.
Seriously, very mischievous things.
That's awesome though. Cats are smug assholes.
That cat
cool.
looks completely.
That's why we don't get along,
right
because I could be like that too.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I like
Sean, the cat of humans. Yeah.
X says the delisting of Cyberpunk on PlayStation Store feels like someone monkey paw wished it was an Xbox console exclusive. Dr. Paul says people are going to be so salty when Cyberpunk takes home a bunch of trophies at the Game Awards in 2021.
No way in hell.
For the best comeback.
Best
That's the comeback. That's the comeback story.
The don't call it a comeback award.
Shinru says, "Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I got to know something. Who took RGT85 to Popeyes to get those chicken sandwiches when they first came out? What?
I mean, I've had the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
What took you though?
I believe I door dashed it, and it's kind of overrated.
I don't know. I think
Accurate.
someone took you. Apparently, they want to know who took you. There.
I like how people assume you had to leave the house to get them when you just had someone bring them to you.
I'm on that DoorDash, the super plan, and all that. You know, I'm regular.
Do they punch your card like with like a hole punch every time they come through there?
No, you just get like discounts and stuff on stuff if you sign up.
And Winkle says sometimes I listen to 10 to 20 SpawnCast re-uploads at the same time, listening and trying to digest all the information. It's a personal challenge of mine.
Good luck for your mental health.
Your boy says y'all keep it real. Respect that. Winkle says Jeff Grubb has got a great mane of hair.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It also smells like churros.
I was gonna ask.
Shamsa with a big 100 donation. Shamsa, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Shinru says, what's a DS GBA game that deserves a remake to current gen consoles? I'd love a Zelda Minish Cap remake, honestly. That's a good one.
Elite Beat Agents.
About Metroid.
Good pick.
Metroid.
Fighting Fantasy, the Warlock of Firetop Mountain.
Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land. Give me that one.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Bring back Tingle.
Electroplank.
Boy.
Yo, Electroplank. Some classics.
And I got everyone right. We're good there. Dr. Claw, you need to stop disrespecting Tack. That sweet little bean is a gift to the planet Earth, and he should be protected at all costs. And I love him. That's from Dr. Claw.
My child.
Is that the cat's name? Tack?
Yeah.
It's cat.
Another cat named Tick?
No, it's cat backwards.
Cat backwards, Sean.
Tic-tac-toe?
I beat Cyberpunk on PS4. Honestly, if the hotfixes doesn't crash and runs smooth enough to enjoy starting second playthrough. And Aaron Davis says, can anyone get me Sephiroth's number?
Sephiroth.
And I think that's everything there. Got everyone? All right, we are good to go. Thanks everyone for tuning into the SpawnCast, episode 194. Appreciate it. And then Evan says, I think Clash of Clans should be I'm gonna say that's console game next. Console game next.
That's probably what I meant.
Okay. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back next Saturday night. It'll be the day after Christmas, and we'll see what everyone got for Christmas. We'll see you guys then.
I'm gonna
Merry
get
Christmas.